Piku. So at least we are good on that front, as our runners are taking off.
Anything you're particularly looking forward to seeing in this particular seed?
Besides a good match, I'm hoping for 3 hours if possible. Of course, even though we move faster in Super Metroid, our runners are most likely going to... Oh, okay, hcfwesker is going to start in Link to the Past, but Xelnas is going to the initial Morph Ball area first. Super missiles on Lake Hylia Island that may be useful depending on how soon we need them.
There's 2 items to check down here in Blue Brinstar, but Link to the Past has a lot more initial items for the runners to check and collect.
Well, we have a map. If we find a map and a key outside, wait. Oh, look at that! Early blue mail in the Morph Ball spot.
Ooh, that is nice.
That will certainly help for Link to the Past, but not necessarily for Super Metroid. One of the features of this combo randomizer, you will find items in, potentially in the other game, like that heart piece in the high jump spot. Now, on Wesker's side, we are going to see what's known as the Lumberjack Cave. There is an item at the top that we cannot get unless we defeat Aghanim in the castle tower. But I'm not expecting our runners to go for that piece of heart.
Just give me a second, I'm having a little issues with the commentary stream. Just fixing it right now.
You got it, I can hold the fort. Ooh, Crab dropping blue rupees today, and a red rupee at the mushroom spot. Having 50 rupees early on is kind of important. This way we can get Lynx bombs to allow for blowing up some important areas.
Ideally, they'll get 100 rupees so they can check the bottle vendor too. Well, 150 total.
And HFC with the first pack of super missiles. I believe you get 5 apiece. And I know our runners would like to get probably somewhere between 25 and 30, assuming they get the charge beam.
So Wesker is not checking blinds to begin with, but he has no bombs, so he's probably going to want to pick up some bombs before he goes down there, so that he can check the item in the back. Just missiles in the back of the Kakariko bar.
Missiles do help early on, though I think most of our runners prefer supers. Xelnas prefers money and lots of it. We are about to see what is known as the Houlihan Room.
Yes, he is going to jump off the ledge a few times here after going in the cave, so which will displace his camera. This will then trick the game into thinking he's not actually jumping in the cave he's supposed to be jumping into, and glitch him into the Chris Houlihan room, which is where the game puts you when it doesn't know where you're supposed to be.
Exactly. 225 rupees in 5 rupee increments, all up for grabs. But once you get 1 rupee, the rest will go away if you don't collect them all, so now's the time.
So let's see what's in the well today. Piece of heart.
We could do better than that.
More supers.
Better.
Our upgrade. Power bombs, that's good to have. And another hour upgrade.
Alright, we have one pickup of each so far on the Super Metroid side. In the meantime, Xelnas is going to Uncle's area. Map check. Red 7-2 for Eastern Desert and Hera, respectively. Powder on the Uncle.
So we could get an early magic batch. Well, no, we need a hammer for an early magic batch check. But they won't have to worry about fake powder, at least.
That is true. More missiles. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Missiles, bombs, and I missed the other one. One more item, Blind's Hut.
Oh, sword! That's excellent to have early on.
Agreed, and we got enough money to where we can visit the bottle vendor right now.
Yes, let's see what he's selling us today. Just some bombs for extra value.
I didn't realize the bottle vendor was trying to be an extortionist. I thought that was supposed to be the job of King Zora.
He's a student. He only charges 100 rupees instead of 500 rupees, but he still has great potential for scams right there. Oh, and we've got a hard container in the library. I don't think they'll be returning to get that.
Not expecting that. But Wesker is immediately going to the race game, not even checking what the reward is at first. Xelnas hoping to get some more 50-50 bomb drops south of the Grove.
The combo randomizer is like key sanity for normal link to pass randomizer for the base game. There's a good chance you'll just find an item of value there to begin with, and in this case we have quite a lot of value, 300 rupees.
Well, I certainly wouldn't object to having 300 rupees. That already puts us very close to King Zora's 500. But if we have early Dark World access, we could potentially deal with, you know, a Kiki the Monkey instead. But for now, South Shore.
Yes, we're going to see what's in the dam and in the pond by the dam, and also probably Mini Moldorm Cave, unless Wesker decides to thwart our expectations to go west to Desert.
I'm expecting Mini Moldorm, but who knows, Wesker may surprise us. 300! Nice.
He's got a sword, so he should have very little issues with Mini Moldorm, which often results in the runners throwing bombs at the Mini Moldorms and them trying their best to dodge the bombs.
Alright, chat has asked regarding a map check. We can confirm Eastern Palace is a red pendant, Desert and Hera are both crystals, but not pyramid crystals.
Another 50 rupees in the pond, so Wesker has more than enough rupees to be paying up the King Zora.
Xelnas with more pieces of heart. Neither runner has a fourth heart container yet, but maybe Wesker will get lucky. Just has to take out 4 Mini Moldorms in this cavern.
If 3 hearts put some of the more dangerous areas, it makes some of the more dangerous areas a little riskier for the runners, but areas like Eastern Palace on 3 hearts is almost what the vanilla game would expect you to do. You would have 4 hearts at that point with a heart container from Sanctuary. So we might see an early look into Eastern. Ooh, the Ice Fort. If we need to go to Turtle Rock, that is 100% necessary.
Well, the Ice Rod could also be useful against the Landmolas in Desert Palace.
It's a little tricky to hit the landmass with the Ice Rod. The projectiles go much slower than the Fire Rod, and a little slower than arrows too, I believe.
That is true, but 2 hits from the Ice Rod will take them out. The question is, will we have to make that play into Desert yet? Right now, Desert is not even accessible, so right now this is just speculation.
So it would either need a bug to get into Desert, or Dark World access the Titan Smiths and the Flute to get all the way over to Maya and then mirror into the back of Desert. So it's really out of the question at this point. bottle of blue goop in the back of the Ice Rod Cave. So it might loop in a sick kid check.
But starting at Link's house, I don't think Wesker's going in that direction. No, he's going to Uncle and maybe the full escape.
Yeah, he's got the sword. The full escape should be easy to do with that. He may also check the dark seers, although he doesn't have a light source, so that will be tricky to get through on only 4 hearts. The enemies down there don't do too much damage, but it's still tricky to get through all the masses of ropes, the snakes down there.
And for those asking in chat, yes, the blue mail was found in the Morph Ball spot on Super Metroid side.
Xelnas has saved and critted and gone back to Link's house. Oh, he's doing the south route now, following in Wesker's footsteps.
Alright, has some additional arrows. Man, I actually missed that part to an extent. As we now enter Hyrule Castle, where the guards just randomly wander around unless you get close to the dungeons.
Yeah, the green guards of the shorter swords seem totally oblivious to their surroundings. The guards of the larger swords will actually notice Link and go chasing after him if they feel like it. Sometimes they don't feel like it. They're all mind-controlled by a Ganon. None of their thought process really making much sense. Nice use of the Ice Rod there to one-shot the blue guard. And the speed booster, that is a very nice firing to have.
Taking what we already have right now with power bombs, missiles, super missiles, and speed booster, we have access to a few items in Green Brinstar right now, but I don't think we necessarily have enough to make it worth diving in just yet.
Yeah, the runners would really like to find a Morph Ball before they would go diving into Super Metroid. The Morph Ball locks off so many locations that it makes it really spotty to do checks in Super Metroid without it. You'll end up going back and forth a lot without the Morph Ball.
Then here's hoping that we don't need to worry about that. Now, just so things are clarified, at least during the Swiss stages, I don't remember when it comes to brackets, but in the Swiss stages, we are going to be using Super Metroid side normal difficulty. This technically means that Shine Sparks are not required, so Wrecked Ship is not in logic yet. I believe we require the grappling hook for that.
Nothing useful in Cell to Cell, and Wesker isn't going to check the Dark Sewers, so we'll see where he's going to go next.
Well, without the Dark Sewer check, that way, I'm suspecting we are going to make a visit to Sahasrara, or insert name here, depending on how the credits act that day.
He may also check Eastern as well. He can clear most of it except for Ice Armos. The vanilla Big Key chest is technically out of logic right now without the lamp, but the dark rooms in Eastern Palace are some of the easiest to get through without the lamp, so if he makes the dive in there, I'm sure he'll do it.
Green Pendant knowledge? Turtle Rock and Sahasrara gets the business for that. Ouch!
Nobody likes Pendant Turtle Rock. Especially when you have the Ice Rod on so early, because if you get the Ice Rod early, and Pendant Turtle Rock is a crystal, that is one of your major worries off the table, almost immediately. Pendant? Ugh.
Well, at least we got the Ice Beam out of Sahasrara's closet. In the meantime, Xelnas is going out of logic himself to check out the camper under the bridge. But has to be careful. Okay, the archer did not spot him.
The hobo under the bridge is possibly the most generous hobo I've ever seen in any kind of media, but today he only has 5 missiles.
I guess that camper was going hunting? I don't know.
If he was going hunting, there's not many Metroids to be found in Link to the Past. He's in entirely the wrong location for it.
First item in Eastern found just 20 rupees. There are 3 items that do not count, you know, keys, maps, compasses, and big keys inside.
Xelnas is taking the rope, or we may get a King Zora check. But he's going to go into the waterfall first.
Not
Or
likely.
not.
You need the moon pearl in order for that glitch to work. Hello, hookshot!
Ah, right, yes. The hookshot, ooh. So if we can get into the Eastern Dark World, we can still loop round to the left over the river. That hookshot is very nice to find. We don't know yet if Swamp Palace is a pendant or a crystal, though, so it's a nice offensive upgrade too. You can stun the enemies or outright kill them with a hookshot.
Chat, I need confirmation. Was that a fire rod I saw on the King Zora ledge? In the meantime, 2 checks right now. King Zora and, well, Big Key. That puts that chest in
Ooh.
logic and... Ooh is right!
That's nice bow. That is going to put Xelnas as a serious advantage if he goes Eastern now over Wesker. Just a compass in the big key chest. He is going to loop around and go to the dark rooms and get to the vanilla big key chest. Looks like Xelnas is going to Hyrule Castle rather than heading straight to Eastern. It is a pendant, so we don't need to clear Eastern, but given that it's so early in logic and we have all the tools necessary to beat it, it could be a good idea to clear it. We'll see if the armors will actually have an item on them or not very soon, though.
Alright, Wesker is through the dark areas. Now we're going to take a look at an out-of-logic chest here. If it's the map, then Armos Knights have the final item. Armos Knights have the final item.
So I imagine Wesker will probably go to Zora sometime with the huge amount of rupees he has. He's going to get that bow, and then he's going to really be intrigued whether he should double dip Eastern Palace or not and get that final item on Armos. Having items unchecked like that, isolated, it really niggles the back of runners' minds. It could be that one necessary item he needs to complete the seed that he left back there.
However, based off of Wesker's direction, we're gonna see the sick kid instead.
So we'll see what payment the sick kid has for us for giving him medicine today. A big bit of love.
So, based off of progression, the only item left within logic is Agina's cave.
Xelnas is bombing himself in the basement. He's probably going to check the back of the sewer. So that's using these bombs to death orb himself to the beginning of Hyrule Castle again. And it looks like Wesker is actually going to go up and check Lumberjack. We will see if Ganem is needed today.
I think Wesker did check that, but he was hoping to get it to death.
You can't lift the rogue, Wesker. Not yet. Not yet.
And he's just going straight to Super Metroid, not even checking Agina's cave. This is gutsy.
A lot of runners don't like to check Agina until they have more of a reason to go to desert. He is really out of the way, isolated in the back of his cave.
Well, let's see what we can do with just Speed Booster and Ice Beam and a bunch of ammunition.
Xelnas is
So
just about to see what the item in the back of, in the Dark Sewers is.
Yeah, aligned with the torch, trying to find the chest.
Ooh! That's the morph ball. Always at the box.
Which means we need the lantern. I mean, we still
Was that
need
the morph balls icon or the bombs icon? I cannot remember. They're both very similar.
That's the bombs.
Okay.
Morph ball
so
bombs are... Yeah, morph ball bombs are lantern blocked. So then the question is, where are they? This doesn't actually give us much right now. Link, the Terminator was just a piece of heart. In the meantime, Wesker is going to attempt to... Did he literally just run past some boots?
I must have missed that.
Well, there's the morphing ball.
And gets another heart container for his efforts. So that is interesting. The item back there, which would normally you'd see the runners doing the mock ball to reach, which would require the morph ball, instead required the speed booster to get to, which would then get you the morph ball, so that you could then mock ball it if you wanted to. Not that there's any reason to now.
And thus we used boots to get boots. While Wesker is celebrating with an enemy recharge point, Xelnas is now going into Eastern. He can actually full clear this if he chooses to break the logic.
Yeah, Wesker doesn't have too much ammo, and he has no energy tanks at all, other than the base one, so he wants to stay safe. Oh, don't die! Ooh, that was close. The hoppers nearly got him.
Jumps over a super, gets 20 rupees. Xelnas now with the hook shot. And Wesker with the safety save. I appreciate this.
Yeah, he is on very low health. Pretty much 1 or 2 hits from just about anything would kill him and send him back quite a long way, so very good safety to take. He's probably going to farm some energy here to put him in a safer spot.
Has the energy, wanted to top off on supers, I think. Alright, Wesker is through, and now everyone say hello to the animals, and goodbye to the animals.
No need to waste time on those animals, we are all jumping out of here. Xelnas is proceeding to the big key chest in Eastern Palace. We'll see if he goes around to do Amos as well.
Well, Xelnas can full clear the dungeon as long as he can take care of that final big room. So, maybe, maybe not.
He's got 50 now, so he can spam a few trying to get the Igor lurking in the darkness, which is blocked by all the tentacle creatures. It's nice to have fire rod for that room so you can light the torch so you can see what you're doing, even though that still keeps it out of logic because you actually need the lamp for that to be in logic. Gonna get an early supers check here. On Wesker's side.
Gets it cleanly, so bye-bye Spore Spawn.
Nobody likes Spore Spawn. It's just an overgrown weed. Ooh, the flipper's there. So that puts the hobo and the waterfall cave in logic now.
This also allows the fire rod to be grabbed, so Wesker can get both of those items in one go. Wesker, I'm guessing, hoping for supers, but these enemies have a low percentage drop rate for them. And
He
after
just
seeing
walks by
one
them.
was... Yeah, apparently enough was enough. So, question is, should Wesker switch back to Link at this point? I am suspecting not. I just missed that.
He's going to check the aqueduct first, most likely. All he's finding is lots of love for Link to the Past right now. Meanwhile, Xelnas is nearly at the Amos. He's just going in now. I don't know if that's enough hours for him to get the quick kill on all 6 Amos statues.
Now, there is 1 or 2 more items Wesker can get, assuming good wall jumping.
Xelnas misses it now. That definitely puts him too low to kill all the Amos with arrows. Misses another arrow. He's just going to use the sword to finish off the Amos now. Which the fighter sword takes 8 hits to kill each Amos, so it's pretty lengthy, but not as lengthy as having to do the Amos with the boomerang. Which is possible, but very, very torturous. And he gets a red pendant, and nothing else useful.
So, Eastern was required, but just for the hook shot, for now. There is...
We don't know what's on the pen, so that red pendant may come in useful later, but it will probably be a long time before we see if it will come into play or not.
Alright, Wesker is going across the beginner's bridge, while Xelnas is going to check out Agina's cave, I think. Everyone, welcome to Red Brinstar, where the vegetation is dry and it's kind of a gloomy place. Wesker not checking out the Spazer room for some reason. I want to say that's easy to get. And Agina with only supers, so... I'm wondering if Wesker is just going to try to warp over to Death Mountain now.
The warp to Death Mountain is down here in the upper north. It only lets him check what's inside Spectacle Rock and what's on top of Spectacle Rock. Although he does have a hookshot, so he can check the east side as well and descend to the top. You don't have the barrier suit yet, Wesker, and you are very low on energy. I would not recommend any hell dives just yet.
Remember, folks, this is normal difficulty, not hard difficulty. Those types of dives are not needed here. Alright, high jump area. 3 items inside. Well, there's the Spazer.
Yes, he's just on the basic beam right now, so that is a very decent offensive upgrade, which he is going to grab on his way out, I imagine. See what's at the high jump boots location. Just missiles.
Spazer, otherwise known as the Wide Beam, if I'm remembering my Metroid Fusion lore. Multiple beams, and decent damage output.
Yeah, if the runners don't find plasma in the seed at all, space is their next best defensive upgrade for their beam. For to beat some of the later bosses, especially Mother Brain, they will really want to try and find the charge beam. If they don't find the charge beam, they are going to need a lot of missiles and super missiles to slay the bosses. Right, Wesker's at Death Mountain now. We'll see what's up here.
But first, time to sequence break some more. For those that are unfamiliar, Wesker is inside the Death Mountain Ascent, where you are supposed to rescue this old man that he has just picked up. Leave through the normal exit, and then take him to the first cave you see as you climb, and not only do you get an item, but you also get a save point for Link to the Past.
And in the combo randomizer, that save point is especially useful for getting into the lower part of Super Metroid quickly and easily. Xelnas picks up his morphing ball.
And now has both the Morph Ball and the bombs to go with it.
We've got the cape on top of Spectacle Rock. I imagine they'll pick that up when they find the mirror. Energy tank at the back of the Spectacle Rock cave. We'll see if he gets it or not. I imagine he will get it because they are very low on energy in Super Metroid right now.
You need a minimum of, I want to say it is 3 energy tanks, assuming you get both Varia and Gravity Suit.
Yes, you need 3 energy tanks to be able to survive Mother Brain's Rainbow Beam at the end. If you can survive one hit, then the baby Metroid will come to save you from the next hit, and you can proceed to get your own Rainbow Beam and finish off Mother Brain. At the sacrifice of the poor baby Metroid.
Wesker, I did not see what was on top of Spectacle Rock, chat. You may have to fill me in on that.
It was the magic cape.
The cape was on top of Spectacle Rock. Thank you. But now, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's probably the same thing as you. Let's have a look at Paradox Cave and the wealth of items inside here. 7 chests to pick up.
Well, let's start with the 2 that are bomb blocked. Super missiles and
Gravity suit.
Nice.
Yep, that's the gravity suit. Very nice thing to find. It puts Meridian logic actually, because they have the power bombs to break the glass pipe at the bottom of Meridia and then go back up. It's pretty tricky to get around in there without the high jump boots though, so he may go looking for that first before really diving Meridia.
Yeah, Meridia is almost fully clearable just with what's equipped right now.
A Master Sword in the back of Paradox Cave, that is very nice to find. The Moon Pearl. Paradox Cave pretty loaded today. What is going on Zelda's screen?
I'm double checking the replay right now. I'm guessing some unintentional corruption, but it should be fine. In the meantime, Wesker is going to take the... Wesker? You have Pegasus boots, don't you? Why are you not dashing?
He just wants to admire the scenery. The absolutely fascinating scenery of Spiral Cave. It's mostly brown rocks, more brown rocks, occasional floating jellyfish and mini moldorm, and brown rocks.
Alright,
Xelnas is picking up the items back here in green. Oh my, he's got more corruption. Did he take a death and lose his items? I did not see that.
He just re-picked up the, Pegasus boots. I thought he had that. Or was this his first time?
Chat is telling us he died in the Etacoons pit. That is very unfortunate. I am not sure what is causing all this corruption in Fair's rooms for him, though. It doesn't seem to be affecting anything. It's not causing him to glitch out of bounds, but it's very strange to see.
Chat is concerned, though, that Xelnas may need to save and reset the game! Wow. That was impressive. And Wesker realizing, nope, have to go around the other way. Speaking of going around, I feel like I should at least mention, technically we do have Dark World access. We just have to go through Meridia and head our way to the back half of, you know, back to where the Ice Palace is in the Dark World, and then we just have all of that available for us.
It's not a very common route to take.
Say again?
It's not a very common route to take, but did Wesker not check the hobo yet? No, he didn't fake Flipper, so he is now checking it in logic.
That is correct. Wesker is now in logic to visit the camper, and will soon not only get the bow and the fire rod, but we'll also be able to visit the Waterfall of the Wishing. Also, our apologies, the Kuchiri. Having to go into Meridia early game is not very fun.
As I mentioned, it's not a common route to take, and it can throw many runners off and have them running around in circles before they think to actually check back there. It's a really nasty thing to inflict on the runners. But we'll see if the Waterfall Cave and Sora have anything. Well, no. Xelnas already checked Sora, didn't he? He can pick up the fire rod from the ledge, though, which is very nice to find once he gets into the Dark World.
Well, at least Wesker can get the fire rod. I'm more curious about that lantern. Wesker, I think, is more familiar with the Super Metroid side of things, not using a lot of minor glitches for Link to the Past, the one, old man for Death Mountain Ascent excluded, of course. Xelnas is definitely more familiar with Link to the Past, to my knowledge, so in this case, this one may come down to who can handle the other's game better.
Wesker picks up his bow. The Sora was feeling very nice today. I believe a race yesterday had the most of the items locked in Meridia, and the lantern itself was in Turtle Rock in the big key chest.
Yeah, so, the Kuchiri is talking about that now. Ugh, I don't want to think about that set of routing.
I believe he was the poor runner who was subjected to it.
Alright, Wesker is probably heading back to Upper Norfair right now.
He may have noticed how much the runner struggled yesterday and is not going to leave anything to chance. He's going to go and check Meridia straight away.
Or may decide that he can just immediately take out Kraid right now.
He'll see if he goes left or right. Right it is, we're going to go kill some overgrown lizards.
While Xelnas is going to... I forget the exact name of this one, but the submerged speed booster room, basically.
Yeah,
But...
this is the aqueduct.
Or the waterway, according to the tracker I'm using. As long as he knows how to do a short shine spark, he had it, but unfortunately, oh no, he doesn't have enough energy for this.
No, yep, he just ends up in the wall. You have to get right up against the wall if you want to shine spark to the left, I believe. But you do need the energy for it. Not even sure that's enough without any energy tanks. He can actually do the full shine spark anyway. He's just going to leave it for later, for now, I imagine.
And now, it is time for what may be Nintendo's first instance of downloadable content.
No downloadable content today. Wesker does not want to pay the cost of time to enjoy the Kraid DLC and just gets a quick kill instead, for a single hour. Downloadable content is never worth it.
Still, that is at least one boss taken out.
Yep, it's one of our necessary bosses to finish the seed. The runners need to beat all of Kraid, Phantoon, Dragon, and Ridley, followed by Mother Brain and Super Metroid, but in Link to the Past they only need to beat the crystal bosses.
That is correct.
All power bombs in the energy tank location. And looks like Wesker is going to proceed into Meridia. Or not. Nope, he just runs straight past.
I think he realized he forgot to check the Spazer location, so he's going to take care of that first.
Ah, that is a... Oh no, he all jumped up to get back up there. But previously when he went there, he only had one power bomb, and I believe he would have to rebomb the location because it's the block respawns. Or am I thinking of the pit block below?
Unfortunately, I don't recall that one. Alright, with the bomb capacity, now Wesker is probably heading into Meridia. So, Meridia. In this area, kinda peaceful, kinda tranquil, kinda I just want to jump up for 20 rupees. Hope you enjoyed the jump.
He doesn't have a lot of energy, so all the science sparks necessary in here are going to put him in a bit of a dangerous spot. Not that the enemies here are of too much risk to him. You've got the crabs, you've got the fish, and the Moktroids in Pink Meridia aren't of any particularly great threat.
Now, if I do recall correctly, Wesker does not actually have the morphing ball. Or actually, no, he does. Never mind. Right, he
It's on
should
both
have
their
it.
trackers.
I was thinking of the bombs. That was it. But for now, we have a friendly turtle to visit.
gets the blue boomerang for his troubles. Not particularly useful, especially since they have the hookshot so early to take care of any stunning needs that they may need. That said, the blue boomerang can stun mobs that the hookshot can't, and vice versa. Did they check what the stun price was from enemies in Links in the past?
Unfortunately, I did not catch that one, Ocelot.
Xelnas is proceeding straight to Kraid.
Wesker... barely enough energy. So, in chat it's being asked, can you check the map at any time? Yes, you do have a button that you can push to view the map.
The one hang up about the savings, the way that the combo randomizer works is that because Super Metroid and Link to the Past are stored on completely different parts of RAM, you can interact with one game and save in it, and it doesn't affect the other game at all. However, the only thing in Super Metroid that is not stored properly when you transition between games is the map. Your explored areas when you transition between games will look much different when you get back into Super Metroid. The game will think you haven't explored areas that you have. So it isn't too reliable to keep track of where you have gone in Super Metroid, unfortunately.
Alright, is Xelnas going to experience DLC? Yes, he will.
Yes. Unfortunately, when you don't get the quick kill on Kraid, he decides to rise out of the ground and give you a whole wealth of attack patterns that really costs you a lot more time in trying to kill the big lizard. It's extra optional content, you don't need to see it, it's DLC. And Kraid goes down for Xelnas.
However, I don't think Xelnas will be happy with the prize. Still, takes it like a champ anyway. As we now enter the, sciencey pipey portion, and what item is that?
That's a hammer! One of the best items you can possibly find for Link to the Past. That puts a whole lot of areas in logic. Once it gets to the Dark World, that is. Not too many areas to be found in the Light World with a hammer.
Okay, I couldn't tell... I mean, I know what the hammer is, I couldn't tell what it was over the background. I apologize, folks.
It was shaded pretty peculiarly, much more paler than the hammer usually is, and the handle was kinda invisible. Luckily there's a text box popping up saying hammer when you pick it up, so no confusion there. Just rupees and I believe that was bombs in the sandy area of Meridia. He's going to reset and get back to the save point and check other parts. Saves a lot of time compared to descending even further and then looping back around. I do love how far those snails go flying with a speed booster.
I am due to play some soccer at some point.
There was an item at the top there, I didn't catch what it was.
Well, Wesker's going up for it. It's shield and rupees.
Fire shield isn't worth particularly picking up. They do not need the mirror shield in this seed, because if they need to check what's on Laserbridge and Turtle Rock, he can get the cape for that. Which puts it in logic. He can also check all the chests without needing any of those items. He can just walk past the lasers, but that is not logically required.
Silly question. How can we use the cape if we don't have the mirror yet?
Well, I imagine when he wants to go to Turtle Rock, he will have the mirror by that point, and so he can mirror to the top of Spectacle Rock and connect it.
Which means watch mirror be on Laser Bridge itself. In the meantime, hi there, Botwoon. You are looking mighty scaly today.
He decides to wiggle around in his best attempt to avoid the super missiles. Wesker has plenty of ammo, so this, yep, already dead. Xelnas is going to do his Death Mountain check. He's going to love what he finds in Paradox Cave.
Alright, Wesker has almost everything he can get from Meridia at this point. Technically one more accessible item, which is the originally a missile tank by Dragon. But otherwise, we may see Dark World access, because going through there on the bottom right, that's the way in.
Indeed, getting out of Dragon's room can be tricky. You need to, I believe, do a short charge of a speed booster to get to the top, or you need to do a lot of infinite bomb jumps. They do have the bombs for that.
Does Wesker have the bombs for that? I thought only Xelnas had that.
To be fair, I do not recall. But he's got the speed booster, so he should be fine either way, assuming he doesn't lose, well, Dragon will drop enough energy for him to recharge all his tanks and get out of there. As chat mentions, he could also do the gravity jump. Basically, that involves taking off his gravity suit, doing a jump in a regular parachute, then ascending right to the top with increased momentum.
Well, it's a good thing that health recharge is right there. Alright, final prize before Botwoon, Piece of Heart. We do not care. Alright, so Wesker versus Botwoon. Without the grapple beam, we're gonna have to either use missiles or some well-timed shine sparks. May even see a blue suit out of this.
He doesn't have too much ammo, so the science sparks could definitely come in useful here. Wolfman, what is your favorite method for preparing shrimp? Fried, microwaved, or just plain exploded?
Plainly exploded, I don't eat shrimp. Now, if I feel a little, I don't know, evil, then we go for the electrocution approach. I think Wesker missed that shine option, and ooh.
Dragon is nearly dead, and Wesker has more than enough missiles to finish him off. And down he goes.
Alright, what is Dragon guarding? Rupees!
Just a
Sorry about that.
shrimps don't tend to carry much in the way of savings. What would a shrimp buy?
I honestly Don't know. Maybe Chicken of the Sea? I'm sure I missed a joke somewhere. Anyway, 2 bosses knocked out by Wesker on the Super Metroid side.
Xelnas checks the tile inside Spectacle Rock, and I don't believe the hint tiles actually give you anything useful in Combo Randomizer.
To better explain, this was mentioned in chat earlier. In Combo Randomizer, the logic is still based off of version 29 for Link to the Past, so the telepathic tiles give general hints about how to play the game, more so than hints for where items are. That's V30. We do have a Bonk Rock check and supers. And Wesker is going into the Dark World. Right now, this is our only logical access to get in there.
They could go beat a Ganon. They have the Master Sword. It's not logical because they don't have the Fire Source, but they could use that way to get into the Dark World too.
I don't know of that many Link to the Past runners that want to climb up a castle tower lampless. So, for those that like their entrance randos, welcome to the Dark World Shopping Mall.
If this was version 30, Wesker could proceed into the cave underneath that rock and check the hint tile there. But it's not, so he's not going to bother. He may go check the catfish before he proceeds down to the pyramid or to the west side of Dark World. So good a time as any is to check catfish.
Hold on. Blue pendant, crystal, red on thieves and mire. Okay.
The Turtle Rock is the, as mentioned by Sahasrara, is the green pendant, so it's not quite so painful if you want to full clear it, because it does get you an extra check at Sahasrara himself. I can never pronounce his name properly.
Sahasrara. Also, we cannot check the catfish yet. We don't have gloves, but we can go all the way around and do the loop.
I'm not sure why he's proceeding into the graveyard. He doesn't have the mirror to go check King's Tomb. And yes, you are right about the catfish. He does need a glove to actually pick up a bush, a rock, or a signpost and throw it in the catfish pool to get him to emerge, make a grumpy face, and give you an item of questionable value. He's put that cave earlier, so we're going to have a look at what's in the bumper cave. Just a heart container. We're not going to need the cape today.
Alright, welcome to the Village of Outcasts.
Xelnas is checking the bomb turret, so I don't think we saw that on Wesker's side.
We didn't. It's a bomb
Just 5
capacity. Oh, Xelnas.
And because he already has the mothball bombs, he has to actually fight the Chorizo.
I don't think Xelnas is happy with that. Treasure game is more missiles.
A note about the Chorizo. When you don't have the mothball bombs, if you pick up the item from the Chorizo, he doesn't actually get aggressive and start attacking you, because in the vanilla game he carries the bombs. Picking up the bombs locks the door and makes him turn aggressive. But since if you don't have the bombs, you check the Chorizo and he doesn't have bombs himself, he'll just sit there and stay dormant, and you can freely leave with them.
Ocelot, mirror was found in the brewery. So, yep, we're now in Thieves Town. We already found power bombs, one of the 4 items inside. Xelnas dealing with this, this power bomb surface room, I believe it's called.
Just supers at you. Decides to pick him up anyway. If they don't have a charge beam, it's well worth picking up any super packs you can find, just in case you need them for Mother Brain. He's going to go check the gauntlet as well.
May want to recharge that health first. There we go.
Yeah, luckily the ship is just right there. Wesker powders a anti-fairy and then immediately walks into Spike, so it doesn't recover that much health.
And Wesker does get through cleanly through that conveyor hallway. The roof area of Thieves Town. There's the compass. We are missing the map, the item, and potentially a small key. If we're lucky, we'll never see that small key, and it'll just be trapped inside the one-to-one big key chest.
Luckily, he has the hammer ready, so there's absolutely no need to isolate that item in the big key chest and maybe feel the need to return to Thieves Town a second time much later. He can clear all of it in one go. Okay, at the back of the gauntlet, we just have a small harpies. We're going to see what other goodies lurk back here.
Xelnas does have to be careful, though. 99 health.
Don't want to be taking too many more acid dips.
And Wesker... Oh no, he doesn't know how this dungeon works! No! Come, head back in! For those that don't know, if you don't have a glove of any kind, you can defeat those enemies in that room, go left, and work your way around. Wesker did not realize that.
Ooh! What do we have back here? It's the Power Glove! Well, now Xelnas doesn't need to remember that particular trick for Thieves Town.
That's what you call timing, folks.
Commentator's blessing? Or could it be commentator's jinx? One runner suffers unfortunate luck, and the other runner finds that luck. Xelnas is doing something very unusual. He's killing these strange fleshy things and all the bugs that come out. I forget what the name of these enemies are. They drop a lot of items.
Including health, which is what Xelnas needed. In the meantime, with that mirror, we have access to the King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge.
Reclaim the King's Heart. Well preserved in the back of a tomb.
But not going for Graveyard Ledge, or forgetting that he could have...
Forgetting it, it looks like. He can just go around to the left side and use the Pegasus boots to clear the rocks there. Then proceed up the ladder and mirror your way into the cave.
But instead we're going to Skull Woods, apparently.
He can full clear Skullwoods. He has got the fire rod, and it is a crystal, so now's as good a time as any to go do it.
I believe it's our first time seeing this side hopper room.
Yes, Wesker didn't check this. Those side hoppers are nasty when you're low on energy. They do a lot of damage. All that's back here is power bomb.
And that's both items in Skull Woods found already.
So we're not going to need to spend time to check the chest in the back of Skullwood. We can just go straight to Mothler and forget about it.
Exactly. Now, I am a little concerned about Wesker's health on this. 3 hearts right now. If he takes an intentional death, I think he's going to end up with 5 hearts to play with. That plus 1 bottle of blue potion. Here's that death I'm talking about.
He has got a lot of heart containers, so if he decides to use the blue potion, he should be in a pretty good spot for Mothula. He's got the Master Sword and the Fire Rod. He's got quite a few offensive options for Mothula. Xelnas is going back to the waterway, and all he finds is missiles. Takes a lot of extra damage from the tentacled beasts there. Again, another enemy I cannot remember the name of.
If we're talking Link to the Past, those are Barries or Beeries, I think.
The Barries are the jellyfish. I'm talking about the hopping tentacled things outside in the overworld.
Oh, those. I don't recall those.
These things that he is killing right here.
Yeah, I don't recall those. They're just abominations, really.
Easy enemy to deal with, but if you let them hop into you, as Wesker unfortunately did, they do a lot of damage, especially on just green mail. Wesker takes a fall there. He's going to try to want to preserve his health from Mothler. Mothler can be very, very nasty, especially if he stays stuck at the top of the room and decides to not come down, because then you have to spend a while dodging spikes. He's down to 2 hearts.
But he has an anti... Oh, the powder targeted the wrong thing.
I think he got hit by the anti-fey before the powder actually landed on it, so he got transformed into bunny form there. You don't often get to see the slime in Link to the Past. Well, 2 hearts Mothler. He can take 1 hit from the spikes, and then he is going to have to chuck his potion. He's got very low magic too, so he is probably... Oh! And takes a hit from Mothler and dies.
Unfortunate, but that's how it goes sometimes. And the tricky part here is out of magic. So Wesker is saying enough is enough for now, unless he knows of a better place to refill his magic right now.
He can refill his magic in the back of here. If he moves the statue onto the switch and goes into the back, there's a pot in the next room with a full magic container underneath. But I'm not sure if Wesker knows about that because he's just gone straight past it.
Either that or he feels that the time spent to get that potion is not worth it.
Perhaps, but he's called to come back here anyway. It's a crystal dungeon. I would personally spend that time to get the magic pot.
Oh, we are going to see the Mad Batter coming up, I believe. We have hammer, we have powder. Why not? Fortunately, using the magic powder doesn't cost a lot of magic. So, is this going to be good Batman or bad Batman?
It's a fetch quest. You've got a fetch quest to get a fetch quest.
It's a reverse fetch quest! You normally need the mushroom to get the powder, now you have the powder to get the mushroom! Kinda find it funny, actually.
Xelnas is making his way through Modia right now. He's fairly behind Wesker at this point. I would say Wesker has a significant advantage right now. Gonna see what Digging Game has for us today.
Alright, Dompe, give us some good luck, okay? 30 seconds, 30 digs. Well, 30 digs max to get the item. You can dig more than 30 times if you're fast enough. Hello there, Spring Ball.
We get a Spring Ball for our troubles. Not strictly necessary, but very useful to have.
So we are now approaching what I'm trying to now adopt as the VT Cave. I call it the VT Cave because of something involving V30's new inverted mode. Hello, Plasma!
Very nice find. Also, just on the left stream, I believe Xelnas just tried to do a Crystal Flash to restore his HP, but I don't think he was at low enough health to actually do the Crystal Flash. I think you have to be below 30 for it to work. It basically consumes 10 missiles, 10 supers, 10 power bombs, and gives you a full health refill.
Stumpy, full heart container.
Xelnas died down to 5 energy. Please don't die here. Gets a small refill from the crab.
Okay. This cave that Wesker is going into, it has many names. We're going to go with the Cave of Hopeful Value. Well, technically 100 rupees is value. There's an energy tank, 20 rupees, another energy tank, and some missiles.
I'd give that 3 out of 10 for hype. It's a lot of safety for Super Metroid, and just a bit of cash. Nothing useful in there though. Nothing really hype-worthy.
Considering that is technically the 4th super found, that's a guaranteed minimum, as long as we find the Variasuit. So, I'm gonna give it 4 out of 10. I don't know, maybe I'm just a little kinder on this sort of thing.
I've just realised we have all the items we need to clear Swamp Palace. Got the mirror, we've got the flippers, got the hookshot. Let's go do it.
That is correct, Ocelot. Swamp Palace. 6 items inside. The first chest in this mode is always guaranteed to be a small key. Because otherwise, how can you get through the door? First item, nothing important. Xelnas trying to make his way up to the upper portions of Meridia again.
He was killing some crabs in the room below, I think trying to refill his energy. His lack of energy tanks is proving to be a big concern for him right now. He needs to make his way to a Dark World and probably get himself over to Hype Cave and get those energy tanks.
Hopefully with that one energy tank it's enough. Alright, Xelnas should be good for now. In the meantime, another item spot for Wesker over here. Well, that's convenient. Big key right before the big chest.
Nobody ever wants to check the left side for the big key. And that is the space jump. Very useful to have, especially without the high jump boots. It gets them to a lot of locations much easier without any need to do shine sparks or infinite bomb jumps.
That does open up a few more spots on the Super Metroid map, if I'm seeing things correctly. But...
Yes, there's an item by the Golden Tweet Zone, Lower Norfair, that you cannot get to without the space jump. It is completely impossible to get that item unless you have the space jump. Wesker is... Sorry, go ahead.
Go for it.
Wesker is actually proceeding to the left side. He doesn't want to leave anything to chance back here.
Well, I personally like this play from Wesker. We do not have enough items to finish both games yet.
I didn't see if he picked up the map or compass yet. A lot of runners just like to go and kill Argus and hope that the map and hope they don't find the map and compass, because then they will be guaranteed to be on the left side and they can safely ignore it and save time.
Alright, the two items on West Side Swamp Palace. First one, is it good?
It's the map. What was I talking about just now?
Maybe the second one? More health.
Something that Xelnas could really use about now, although he does have his second energy tank.
Well, technically according to the, I am using Emo Tracker to help route things. There's the hammer for Xelnas. Technically 5 energy tanks should be enough to attempt a heat run to get to the northeast part of Norfair.
I believe in the vanilla version of Super Metroid, if you get the gravity suit without the barrier suit, you can just go into Norfair and not care about the heat. But I believe in the Randomizer, you are still going to take damage in the Norfair heated areas without the barrier suit, even if you have gravity.
Alright. Screw attack and Varius suit, if I saw that right.
Yep, that was correct. Commentator's blessing, talk about Fairysuit, get Fairysuit. Much better than the commentator's curse, that's for sure.
Well, we can... Actually, if I'm taking a look at this right... I think we have enough to take everything out on the Super Metroid side.
It would be really nice to find Charge Beam, but otherwise, yes, you would be right.
Right, how many missiles and supers is it supposed to take within logic normally?
I'm not too sure. The last few times I actually have seen it done, the runners have had about 60 supers and a varying amount of ordinary missiles.
Okay, so according to chat, 40 missiles and 60 supers minimum, but I don't know if that's the safety amount.
Yeah, if you miss any shots, it's going to be pretty risky. And Mother Brain in particular does like to move her head around a lot and dodge your shots, just to be annoying. Wesker takes down Argus and gets a big 20 for his trouble, but also a crystal, our first crystal of the seed, at 1 hour 20 minutes. Meanwhile, Xelnas is facing off against Botroon. He's going to be able to proceed into the Dark World from here, or go take on Dragon if he wishes.
Well, I don't know which way Xelnas will go.
Oh no!
Never mind, I know exactly which way. Back to the save point. So, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, you first.
Nah, you take this one.
I was just going to say, Wesker is going to make his stop by Old Man Agina.
Unfortunately, I don't think this was worth anything important. Nope, just the supers.
Still nice to have for what we were just talking about. Mother Brain without the charge beam requires a lot of super missiles and ordinary missiles to kill.
Exactly. So right now, I'm trying to think about the best way to go. Ooh, sword upgrade on the desert ledge.
I imagine they'll be getting that tempered is way too nice a sword upgrade to pass up on. Also means you don't have to do annoying spin strats against Ganon.
And the best part is, they technically have logical access to it, or at least Wesker does. Thanks to that Varia suit, he's able to go to Lower Norfair and take the final warp, which I believe puts him by the Golden Terizo. And once you take that warp, you are then ejected to right side Misery Mire.
Indeed, that is a fun quirk of combo randomizer logic actually. The flute is not necessary to pick up. You can get into Mire without it. We're going to see what's on the pyramid first, and I imagine he's probably going to take a trip into the Palace of Darkness afterwards. He's got all the... well, he doesn't have the lamp, so he will be fighting through dark rooms, but he does have all the other items necessary to clear it, namely the bow and hammer. Ooh, catch that fairy. Just.
Oh,
Ooh,
it was
on
completely...
Xelnas' side, he is running low on miss... oh no, he takes another death. He was down to 1 missile and 1 super missile, and Botroon was very low on health.
Xelnas may have to consider grinding a little more for health right now. But your route assessment is correct, Ocelot. Wesker is going for the Palace of Darkness play.
Oh, and he takes a hit, so Kiki the bunny goes running off with his 10 rupees. He has to go pick him up again.
₹10 per escort, 100 rupees per entrance.
Xelnas is trying bot rune for the third time.
Will the third time be the charm? First chest in Palace of Darkness. Small key. If we did not have
So we're not bird locked.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's going to go check out that side anyway, because there's 2 chests to get, but we are not bird locked today.
That is correct. Xelnas trying to be extremely careful. Low on missiles, though.
He gets a kill.
But
Nicely done. And a lot of energy refills for him. I doubt he's going to go take on Dragon with this amount of ammunition and energy. But I believe he is going to proceed into the Dark World and find a wealth of goods there.
First item found, heart container. And yep, Xelnas does know of the way to the Dark World shopping mall. Just has to get across these rollers. Wesker finding a 1-to-1 key. Chad, what is the name of this enemy that Xelnas is dealing with, and what is the best way to get over if you don't have the spring ball?
Chad pointing out that Wesker could be saving some time in Palace of Darkness with his routing. He has the mirror. He could just mirror back.
As I said close to the beginning, I believe Wesker's more familiar with the, with Super Metroid than Link to the Past here, so this game tests your knowledge on both.
He's going to check the out-of-logic areas now. He could have proceeded into the harmless hellway and possibly even find a lamp there. It is possible, but this dark room isn't particularly hard to check. It gets a small key and some item.
Something.
I am honestly not sure. It didn't look like there was anything on his inventory.
Was there a second bottle? I mean, it may have been... Let me see. Big key, I think. Yeah, big key makes sense because 3 items left, along with the map.
He's going to go out of logic here now and check the... Really out of logic here now and check the 2 chests in here and then the big chest afterwards. It's usually easier to take a hammer yub from the bridge and get to the big chest and then check the 2 chests in here rather than making your way through the whole dark room. That's a trick you tend to see more in Key Sanity. Quake Medallion? Ah.
Now, I have seen a few diagrams on how to navigate this dark maze. So, as long as he's following one of them, he should be fine. I think he's close to the next item. Energy tank.
Has to drop a bomb because he didn't do it on his way in here. Or rather, when he was crossing the bridge. And it's the map, so Helmasaur has our last item. Again, Helmasaur is out of luck because he doesn't have the lamp. And what is he going to do? He's going to go kill Helmasaur.
Well, hopefully he...
Or not.
Maybe just wanted the bomb pickup? In the meantime, Xelnas is now through the Bowlock side. Shouldn't have too much of a problem here.
Aside from missing Dragon, he is catching up a bit on Wesker here. And he's going to find a wealth of upgrades for Super Metroid that will make Dragon much easier for him to kill.
Go for it.
Wesker's going to do some checks that Xelnas already did, such as the top of criteria here.
Well, as our runners are currently retracing each other's steps, this is probably a good time to make sure, please, give them a follow if you haven't already, because they are certainly giving us an interesting view of Super Metroid-based runner versus Link to the Past-based runner. At least that's how I see it.
Yes, these two runners are absolutely better than at Super Metroid than I could ever be. So give them a follow.
But don't forget about Revolving Ocelot, my fellow co-commentator, Link Hero of Time 64, our tracker. If you feel like following me, I would appreciate it, but please, Ocelot has done a much better job than me. And
well, I don't stream anything worthwhile, so don't bother following me.
And of course, I wish to thank the Speed Gaming Overlords that allow this match to be broadcast. Alright, Wesker approaching Red Brinstar Red Tower from the back. Nothing good there. Maybe the first power bomb locations will have something.
Just a big treadie. And some supers. We'll still take all the supers we can get at this point.
Agreed.
The unfortunate thing about Charge Beam is that it could be almost anywhere in the world of Link to the Past or Super Metroid. They could spend a very long time trying to find it. So if they see super packs, they are probably going to pick up any super packs. Right until they find a Charge Beam somewhere, and then they can pretty much ignore the supers from there.
To my knowledge, I think the only place the Charge Beam cannot be found is behind Ridley in this flag set. Wesker is going to the wrecked ship, skips over the bombs. 'Cause, 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 'cause
bee in a bottle at the top. And the reserve tank. We actually haven't seen any reserve tanks yet. Xelnas is making his way through the dark maze pod.
The one freebie item in the wrecked ship before you have to take out Fantoon, nothing important.
Fortunately, Fantoon is going to take quite a long time to kill because of the aforementioned lack of charge beam. Wesker is going to have to use a lot of ordinary missiles to very slowly whittle him down. Can't use supers because that will just put him in a very angry, enraged state and take far more time than just even using ordinary normal missiles.
Well, at least if Wesker does put Fantoon in the angry state, does have the screw attack to avoid most of the damage.
Yeah, so the screw attack makes this fight much easier. You can pretty much just screw attack your way through any of the annoying projectiles he sends at you. He's got quite a lot of good missile hits in already. When Fantoon is low enough on health, he can finish him with a super missile, but got to be pretty exact with the amount of damage required. And there goes Fantoon. Nicely done. Meanwhile, on Xelnas' side, he's going to Helmazol.
No lantern yet. Question is, where is it? It cannot be on the pedestal on Link to the Past because all three pendant dungeons are technically lamp locked. For that matter, unless we need a medallion to get into Misery Mire, I don't think the pedestal is going to have any effect right now.
There's not a lot of items that can be on pedestal at this point. Xelnas does use the torch to light up the room with all the turtles in. A very nasty room to get through without light because you don't really know where the turtles are. And once you flip them over, you still have to find them again and actually finish them off. If they right themselves, they move faster and can take quite a lot of health from you. So here's Helmazol on Xelnas' side.
And Fantoon showing off his small money collection. Well, from beyond the grave, but it counts.
Xelnas gets out his bow, should do a few hits into the duel on Helmazol, or goes for spin strats, and finishes him. That will be Xelnas' first crystal. Out of logic, but unless we get some... there's not many items that can put him in the wild goose chase at the moment, but he gets Wraith Beam. Very nice to find. Oh wait, no. Palace of Darkness was the blue pendant. Okay. My mistake.
Yeah,
well,
Palace
we still
of...
don't... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you take that one.
We still don't know what's on pedestal yet. It could be a required medallion to get in Misery Mire, like you mentioned. But there's not really many items you can get at this point on the pedestal that is required to complete the seed.
That is correct. So Wesker is basically hoping that it's not going to be those medallions or the charge beam.
Xelnas is going to... Oh, sorry.
Yep, about to learn where the energy tanks are. As Wesker's about to go through one of the conveyor rooms. I don't remember the exact name of this one.
It's generally the attic of the wrecked ship. Just 5 rupees.
Nothing important at this point. Baja Blood in chat asks, was the Wavegate room in Brinstar checked? I haven't seen either runner go for that yet, actually.
They would need to do a Super Missiles clip to get through there. And I don't know if personal skill of Super Metroid, whether they're comfortable with doing the skip to try and access it. There's in logic now with that wave beam from Helmissel, but it's quite out of the way. I don't know if Xelnas will actually go check it. More supers for Wesker. He already checked the being a bottle back here. He is going to get... Oh, nope. Nope, he's not going to get it. Oh, just now I saw Xelnas go to the digging game and then save and crit. You said the mirror was in the Dark Kakariko Brewery, didn't you? It's not on his tracker. Did he actually pick it up?
I don't know, but right now we need to be a little quiet because we have a Chozo approaching the lanes, going to attempt to bowl Wesker through. Beautiful approach.
We haven't seen the back of Escape yet. We've got the reserve tank, 300 rupees, and a small key. Nothing too useful.
Alright. Wesker only needs to check what Vanilla Gravity Suit has. And it's missiles.
I don't think Wreck Ship had too much of use inside of it.
Not on my watch.
Still needs to go there to kill Fantoon, but otherwise it was quite a lot of time there.
So, I am suspecting that Wesker is either going to warp back to Link to the Past, or maybe... Oh no, he's going for Gauntlet.
Yet. Xelnas gets his fetch quest within a fetch quest.
Oh, what? This is going to be good timing for Wesker. He needs that power glove.
Xelnas is going back to the Dark World outside of Village of Outcast. I don't think he's been in Skull Woods yet. And if he left a mirror behind in the brewery, he may have realised that and is going to get it. Wesker finally picked... I think Wesker's slightly happy about finding those power gloves there in the gauntlet. A few victory ducks.
Well, now he can complete these right. We know that it's technically possible to complete without the glove, but he may not have known of that at the time. Now Wesker is about to have an unexpected Torizo fight.
Xelnas is proceeding to the back of Skullwoods. He's probably going to have a easier time with Morphula than Wesker did. For one thing, Xelnas has that blue mail from very early on that Wesker never got. Ooh, just misses the Wall Master there.
Wesker trying to go up. Is this the Alcatraz route? Well, whatever route it is, he got it.
I'm not too sure of the name of that particular wall jump out of there. It's a very tricky one to pull off.
Xelnas is running low on magic.
He skipped up that full magic refill in the back of the I can't remember what you call that room, but it's the one locked by the statue in the front part of Skullwoods.
I'll admit, I don't know of that many players that name individual rooms with creative stuff like the Super Metroid community has.
Just missiles at the top of her.
The long shaft up had nothing worthwhile.
Xelnas, you are missing a key. There we go, from the Gipto.
Mother Brain's old location, 10 arrows.
Here's north. We'll see if Xelnas has a better time. He's going to stick to the Master Sword here. Could also use the hammer for tempered sword damage.
If you feel like having a short-range weapon.
Risk versus reward, really. These spikes are giving him quite a lot of trouble. Very annoying patterns here. Ooh, he's low on health. He's going to use that blue potion. He can also use the fire rod now if he wishes. Wesker finds half magic.
And Xelnas has his first crystal.
Yes, finally. Not like Palace of Darkness, that's my mistake there.
And now Wesker is in the Billy Mays room, as I believe some runners call it. Here's your first item, but wait, there's more! It's just a missile pack. I'd like a refund, please.
You say there's more? I'd say there's nothing really there to begin with.
Just things that go boom.
Wesker finally gets his blue mail. About 1 hour 45 minutes after Xelnas got his. Might push him back more towards clearing Skullwoods.
Eventually, but not yet.
He's back in Pink Brinstar. I don't believe he checked the waterway yet, so he's going to go down there and do it now. Actually, I think he came down here, but he didn't have enough energy to get through the speed booster, so he gave up. Of course, now with the gravity suit and speed booster, it's no issue at all.
Alright. If Wesker does have the wave beam, or can pull off the super missile strategy, then we have one more item to check up here.
I think only Xelnas got the wave beam, so he's going to try the super missiles clip. And he gets it.
Alright, so what is our reward for, in this case, not worth it.
Yeah, so wave beam not required today. Xelnas is checking the village of outcasts again. He is going to hopefully find his mirror and be pretty happy about finding that. Oh no, he's going straight into Thieves Town first.
So, Xelnas will be short a mirror for a little bit. As Wesker is going to head to Red Tower. Probably going to head down, maybe check a vanilla X-ray scope.
Unlike Wesker earlier, Xelnas does have the power glove, so even if he forgets about the little route around in the basement, he can just lift up the rock and go that way. So he should be able to full clear it.
And just bombs for X-ray scope. I'll admit, I never liked the spikes in Super Metroid that much.
Especially annoying if you want to do some funny tricks in the X-ray room and try to do such things like a bomb jump to get up to the top platform there. Because those spikes will just throw you off trajectory all the time whilst trying to do the bomb jump.
So right now, Wesker only has access to one more location inside of Meridian. That's the plasma beam room. I don't think he's going to head there. Instead, I think he's going to try to clean out as much of Norfair as possible.
Yeah, I reckon the same too. Probably go pay a visit to the Croc and then maybe go down to learn Norfair. He's got the gravity suit, he's got the Farrier, he's got the space jump, he can go kill Ridley. But he defies our expectations and is probably going to go check plasma.
No, apparently he's not checking that either. Does he have logical access to Shaktol?
Oh, Shaktol. A scoundrel, a charlatan. Nothing good has ever come from Shaktol. Even if he holds something of value, the time he spent on Shaktol just makes him the worst entity in all of Super Metroid.
I'm just asking if he has logical access to it right now. Or, oh, he's taking...
I don't think he has the logical access without the grappling beam. You need that to clear the block to get to Shackle.
Okay, Wesker is checking plasma beam. I forgot about that warp pipe. And I completely missed what the other items were for Xelnas' side. In the meantime, here's the pun of the day. The chimney sweep wore a suit and tie. Keep on working on them, Blind.
Yeah, he may reside in Thievestown, but somebody really stole all the bad puns from him. Well, good puns, I should say. And he gets blind down, so that's Xelnas' second crystal. Puts him ahead on Link to Past Progress, ahead of Wesker, but Wesker has 2 more Super Metroid bosses ahead of Xelnas.
And unfortunately, I missed what the 4th item was in Thievestown. Chat, can you help out?
It looked like just a map or a compass to me, nothing important.
He had both map and compass, I think, by that point. So the item was in the damsel room. Chat, just so it's clear, I'm not asking what Blind had, I'm asking what the damsel room had. Xelnas now with the mirror, that'll help him a lot.
He's immediately looping north to go do the graveyard checks. ₹300 at Vanilla Ice Beam for Wesker.
I don't know if money's really necessary at this point, unless you struggle with Ganon a bit.
We've paid the big fish, we've paid to get into Powers of Darkness, it's all just blue potion refills at this point. I think they've only found 1 bottle so far, so not even that many blue potions. Wesker didn't do the graveyard ledge check here. We'll see if Xelnas does it. Whilst Wesker pays a visit to the croc.
Fortunately, the item in the long fall was just a missile pack, if I saw that correctly. Oh, graveyard ledge with silver arrows. Supers beyond Croc. And thanks to that power glove Xelnas has, we're going to see what's on the catfish. But first, a visit to the potion shop.
We can return that mushroom. And probably find a shovel, because one fetch quest leads to another fetch quest, leads to another fetch quest. It can happen. Very annoying, but it can happen.
I have a little more faith in that.
Just a big trinity, which is almost equally worthless.
I said just a little more faith, not that much.
He does pick up a blue potion refill, a good choice to make because he's got plenty of rupees and nothing much else to spend them on.
Wesker going through the snake room, red rupee. How about this catfish that's looking at Link kind of funny? Also a red rupee. Time for the first big leap. Or we curve around first for more missiles.
Just one more item to check back here. We'll see if Crocodile was just a water croc today. Just a reserve tank.
I would have picked it up, but then again, I'm not that good at the Super Metroid side of things.
He's got a fair few energy tanks now. There's not much need for the reserve tank, especially since he has one already. We're going to check K45 here on Xelnas' side. I don't think Wesker went in here.
Oh, Wesker did go into the VT
Oh yes,
cave
it was plasma. Yeah.
and got plasma. So now, which... Oh, I'm guessing Wesker's going to take care of most of Upper Norfair first at this point, while Xelnas is going through...
Oh, nope, he's going straight to Lower Norfair. Reasonable play to make. He's got everything he needs to clear it out, including space jump.
That is true. As stated, we can just about fully take out all of the bosses in Super Metroid. The question is going to be, is there enough ammunition to take on Ridley? I believe Ridley and Mother Brain are the main two bosses that do not take... that can only take damage from charge beam or missiles, but Ridley doesn't provide any ammunition.
We could be farming a lot of bugs from a pipe. Although I believe these fast trippers in this room have a very high drop chance for super missiles, so he could farm those instead. He's got the screw attacks, so it's pretty easy to just plow his way through them.
By the way, shovel at screw attack location, and now we are back. Welcome to the Dark Mire area, where Ether Medallion is our target.
We can quickly check Checkerboard Cave here, also go check out the Mire Hut, and go into Desert Palace. It is a crystal, so it's actually probably a better idea to go do this first instead of Ridley.
I agree.
And there was a tempered sword on the desert ledge, as I remember, so you can pick that up too. Very nice find.
Agreed.
Ah, there's the high jump boots. I was wondering where it was going to be hiding today. So that's going to make Ridley's lab a little easier to get through.
Yep, with that tempered sword pickup, Wesker has many ways of taking out Landmolas.
Xelnas is also going to check the left side of Swamp like Wesker. He just picked up his space jump from the big key chest, so he's going to be pretty happy about that.
Ooh, and with that small key on the torch, this was boots locked, I believe. Unless the big key happens to be right in this chest.
Wow. Wow!
What? Hi, Ether.
Okay, well that is probably the best convenient location for Ether you could possibly think of. We still don't know what we need for Turtle Rock yet. It is a pendant first, so we don't need to go in there as such unless it has an important item. And we are lacking some links to the past items at the moment. Namely, we need the Cane of Samaria to fully clear Misery Mire.
However, thanks to finding Ether, the only way the pedestal is going to be alive is through Charge Beam at this point.
I wouldn't even say it's alive. It's more of an.
Never mind!
I don't get it. We have been talking about items constantly this seed, and then they go and find the items.
This is Wolfman 2000. This may be my last time commentating on this tournament at this rate.
I hope that I don't have that kind of record. This would be my first and last time commentating.
We'll figure this out, Ocelot. Don't worry. Wesker going to finish up Desert. Yeah, we are officially in go mode for Super Metroid's sake. Now all we need to do is...
Oops. He forgot to equip his fire rod and he mirrored out to the front of the desert again.
It's alright. We've all done that before. There was one time I was going through Swamp Palace and I was trying to do the block disappearing trick for the chest south of the big chest. Yeah, that doesn't work inside the dungeons. So now Xelnas has Screw Attack and Varia. So really, for Link to the Past side, we technically need Lantern, but we're also looking for the Cane of Somaria.
And that could be anywhere. It could be in Misery by itself. We have the Ether medallion to get in there now. It cannot be in Turtle Rock itself.
That is correct.
So I don't think we're going to be needing to go into Turtle Rock this seed.
Unless the Lantern is considered to be over there, which it technically could be. There's only one primary dark room.
But if Vesker's confident with his dark rooms, he's not going to need that lantern. And he is going into Maya. I imagine to clear it, so we'll see how indeed what his skill with dark rooms is.
That is, of course, dependent on if one of the two items in Meyer is that all-important Cane of Somaria.
I have seen Lantern at the big key chest in Turtle Rock before, which is a horrible place to put it. In fact, I think I saw that in the race yesterday. Meanwhile, Xelnas finishes up Argus and gets his second crystal.
Alright, first chest out of the way. Small key, can't say we are surprised. There are 3 small key chests in here, if I recall correctly. The one in that pot doesn't count.
We don't have the God Mire today, but we are going to be full clearing Mire anyway, because we need that cane.
Xelnas back in Super Metroid.
He's going to finish out clearing out Blueprint Star like Wesker just did. He's not going to find much there apart from half magic.
Alright, fire-locked side of Misery Mire. What do we have in here? Small key.
We're going to have to proceed upstairs to the cutscene room.
And while we're doing that, let's remind the folks at home regarding how some of the progression has ended up here. Both of our runners know different variety of tricks. Wesker is more confident on the Super Metroid side of sequence breaks. Xelnas more familiar with Link to the Past ones. Thanks to Xelnas' Link to the Past skills, he was able to get the Morph Ball bombs, whereas Wesker could not. Technically, those bombs are guarded by the lantern, which could be anywhere. I was actually kind of hoping it would have been there.
It's a vanilla big key. A vanilla cane at this point would be mildly annoying.
But also appropriate.
If it's not down here, it's pretty reasonable to say it's probably in Ridley's lair somewhere. But luckily he can just exit straight out of mine and go back to Ridley's lair. No problem. Well, there's something red in the chest. It's not the red object we're looking for, it's the red boomerang.
Well, Well, we only got one item out of there.
Yep, Vitreous is holding something else. It can't be the cane first, so nothing going to be very important on him. So, back to Lower Norfair we go.
As Wesker is going to deal with the back end of the Showcase Showdown. Okay, no need to spin the wheel here. And no need for Golden Chorizo's $25,000. Apparently missiles are very expensive around here. Oh, I just realized, we haven't found Titan's mitts yet. We also need those for Go mode.
Very true. That has completely slipped my mind.
So, Titan's mitts and Cane of Samaria.
Actually, what do they need Titan's Mitts for? They can get into Mario without it because they don't need the flute. They can just go through Lower Norfair. And you need the Titan's Mitts to lift up the rock after getting the flute.
Ice Palace.
Yes, Ice Palace, the place I never want to think about because it's the horrible, horrible place. Gonna check out the Mickey Mouse room. And we've got blue cane, not the cane we're looking for.
Alright, time for... I don't remember, as I said, I don't remember the names of a lot of these rooms, but Obviously, with space jump and screw attack, it's easy to get through.
Xelnas is making his way into Norfair. He's probably going to pay a visit to the Crook, like Wesker just did before him. Ooh, doesn't quite get the Mock Ball through the speed booster required room.
And there's the grappling hook of shame, apparently.
He fires a few missiles at it to express his displeasure. He already killed Dragon, so he cannot even make some fried shrimp.
Ooh, nice use of the Shine Spark after images.
Yeah, the Shine Spark after image, if used in the right spot, is a very reliable way of killing the Kung Fu pirates. So, we're making our way to Ridley. We will see what he's keeping in his closet after we kill him, but I think Wesker is going to need to farm a bit more ammo from the wasps here. Or not, he's just going to go straight in.
He has Charge Beam, remember?
Oh, yes. He's got charge, he's got ice. He doesn't have a wave, but he's pretty much doing as much damage as he possibly can to Ridley with the charge beam now. Fires a few supers for good measure anyway. And he should be dead now. He just needs to get picked up. And down he goes. Nice quick kill.
I never understood how Ridley dies by him carrying Samus. Couldn't you just knock him out normally at that point? Also, Golden Sword.
I think he just destabilized Ridley to the point where if he decides to pick up any extra rate, he just completely falls apart. Kind of like a cardboard structure. Although I don't think Ridley is made of cardboard. He's a reasonably tough creature.
Well, I would like to think so. So at this point... Well, I had missed what was in that room that Xelnas was in. I'll double check the replay.
Just 50 rupees.
Yep, I confirmed that. Yeah, Xelnas is going through Upper Norfair first.
He's checking out the Bubble Mountain area. I don't think Wesker went through here, did he?
That is correct.
So we've got some new items that we can find here.
There's an energy tank over there, while Wesker is heading to bottom room.
Titan
Oh! We are just one cane away.
Hey! Look at that!
Wait, seriously?
Yes, seriously.
It,
In Bubble Mountain area, Titan's Pits and Norfair. One after the other, just on different screens. So we are in, well, I guess except for the lamp and which we don't really need if we can make our way through the dark rooms. We are basically in no mode right now. The runners don't know this, we do.
I'm... Ocelot, how do we do this?
I don't know. I think we should go commentate more races together. We seem to be pretty good luck for the runners. Nothing like all the horrible races that were happening yesterday. And nothing of use in the speed booster room. I had a feeling Lamp would be there, but not today. Wesker did step out of Mire without going clearing it, so he is going to still be looking for that lamp, even if he finds the Titan's pits. And with the cane in play, the lamp could be in Turtle Rock. Horrible place to be for it to be in, but I have seen it.
That it could be. It just...
Who really wants to dip Turtle Rock for a lamp? Especially when it's a pendant. It's just horrible all around to get up there. Wesker's also checking the speed boost room, and he is going to get his cane very shortly.
But decides to pass on the reserve tank.
He's got 8 energy tanks. You don't really need reserves at this point.
That is true.
Rather funny things to say, considering early in the scene, the runners were absolutely desperate for Super Metroid energy tanks to go do their necessary checks and clears.
And now, Wesker at 2:22:12, couldn't have been 10 seconds later, has finally entered effectively go mode.
I mean, he's still going to be he may go try and do the lamp rooms now that he's effectively in go mode, but he's going to try and check as many items on the way to try and get that lamp. I don't think he's too comfortable with doing the dark rooms.
That is actually a fair point. Xelnas has certainly done more dark rooms than Wesker has.
He's checking out Crocomire now, which we know to be mostly a waste of time. All the Croc can give to us today is a melting face, and the runners don't even watch the melting face because it lags the game a bit.
Now, I don't understand Wesker's routing choice. Oh, he's heading over to Mire right now because we don't have the flute yet.
I guess he's going to give those dark rooms a try.
There are only 2 item locations that I don't think our runners have seen in Norfair yet, and please correct me if I'm wrong. There is the... in Upper Norfair, your escape from the heated rooms on the way back to the elevator. And I believe there is a missile tank in Bubble Norfair that I don't think our runners have seen yet.
Oh, Wesker's going back into Mire. He is going to give those dark rooms a try. Aside from the first room where you need to place a cane of some Mire block, it is pretty precise and can easily be knocked away from it by a fireball from one of the Medusa statues there. It's not too hard to get through the dark rooms, in my opinion.
And Chad is saying that someone has made a good tutorial, but I didn't catch who.
Ancient Gamers in the chat says that Wesker can do all of the dark rooms, and he's actually in the process of teaching him. So, kind of funny that he didn't do it on his first trip in here.
I guess Wesker prefers to follow the logic, but in this case thinks it's just faster to go without it right now.
Well, we're going to see those scales in display right now. He's got the pot. He needs to... Yep, he's got it. He needs to get through this room, make his way through the slight maze in the next room, and hit the crystal switch. The Medusa provides a nice point of reference for him. Although the crystal switch in the dark is an even better point of reference.
However, I think he forgot which way the crystals have to be, so he has to do this again.
Ooh, he's missing his bombs here. He's going to take a blue potion for safety.
Seemed a little premature considering how much damage Vitreous can do.
He picks up the blue mail from Brinstar, and he's got plenty of fire containers, so he's not in too much trouble. He even has he's also got Gold Sword and I believe a Cane of Brian, so he could just do dash strats if he really wished. He's even got half magic, so it makes Vitreous pretty easy all in all. He doesn't have the silvers like Xelnas has to make Vitreous utterly trivial, but it's not going to pose a problem to him at all.
Well, let's find out.
He's not even going to bother with Cane, he's just going to wade in the goo and spin those eyeballs to death. He has also an incredibly impressive amount of arrows, so I imagine he could just get out the bow here and shoot the eyeball full of arrows to finish him off. And that's exactly what he's doing.
And thus, the final... Well, just a piece of heart.
If you meant to say the final crystal, he's got a lot more crystal dungeons to do still.
The final item was where I was going.
Ah, yes. We haven't seen Tower of Hera yet from either runner, I just realised. The lamp could be there. They don't need a lamp to get to Death Mountain, because they can just go through Super Metroid to get there.
I am curious about Wesker's routing choice here. So, technically, he could finish off...
He didn't have a Titans yet, so he hasn't been able to check the Dark Death Mountain. There's a few chests here he can check, like the Super Bunny Cave.
While that is true, I think let me try to clarify this a little bit better here. Technically, right now, he could knock out Skullwoods and Thieves Town. Lantern is not necessary for Ice Palace, could just knock that out. And then all you have to do is take this path to Dark Death Mountain, loop around, use the mirror for Tower of Hera, warp back, there you go, Ganon's Tower. Also, there is another bottle on the Death Mountain top.
Very correct. And maybe he's just really unsure about the needing the lamp for the Turtle Rock Dark Rooms. He may just be going straight in there. Yeah, he's going straight in. Luckily, we don't need bombers today to get into Turtle. Actually, why are we going in Turtle Rock?
Wesker wants the lantern.
But the hardest rooms to get through the lantern right now are in Turtle Rock itself.
And oh,
it's a bit pointless to me.
Xelnas is frustrated.
Oh, Wesker's checking out hooks on cave. Nothing in here today. And he's going to go get that second bottle. I guess he just wants more safeties for clearing out Ganon's Tower later. But he could just take items on his way through Ice Palace or the other dungeons that he hasn't cleared. I'm not quite understanding this.
Well, Baja Blood does bring up a good point. Silvers were located on the Graveyard Ledge. Wesker never went there yet.
No, he actually had the capability to go there. He checked the King's Tomb, but he didn't have the Titan Smiths at the time, and he didn't think to take the way around with the Pegasus boots to bonk the rocks and then make his way up to the ledge. Could be a long while before he goes back there, if he ever goes back there. Super Bunny fairly worthless today.
And Wesker is going into Turtle Rock, as Xelnas now has mire access.
Well, he's not going to find the silvers in here. He may find the lamp, which may make him a bit more confident for nothing much in particular. He's not really got any dark rooms to go through now. So I guess he's only looking for silvers, really. This is going to be a bit of a time sink for him. Gives Xelnas maybe a bit of an opportunity to catch up.
I'm not sure I understand this play by Wesker. Based off of remaining dungeons, Tower of Hera, Skull Woods, Thieves' Town, Ice Palace, none of them require the lantern. The only one that did was Misery Mire, and he already knocked that out. As Xelnas now just picked up the charge beam. Oh, speaking of
Get
safety.
a Swagnet from the back of the roller. I guess it lets you catch a few fairies in Ganon's Tower. But they've got so much money, why not just fill all those bottles with blue potions instead? He's going deep into Turtle Rock.
Again, if the lantern is here, it may make some sense, and if that's the case, that technically means all pendant dungeons were required. But in the meantime, Xelnas is going to make some crispy land molas. Couldn't get the 1 cycle, but 2 cycle is certainly nothing to scoff at. 3rd cycle? There we go.
Wesker is not checking the vanilla big key chest.
It could have something, it may not.
He does know about the. I think it's a bubble beam in that pod, so that he can just immediately powder and get a ferret. That's something I've seen many runners do, actually. He's not checking Mimic Cave. Well, if he's looking for the lamp, why would you skip Mimic Cave? I'm just a bit perplexed here.
To be honest, I don't know why. With that being a small key, that tells me the vanilla big key chest had a non-key in there.
Yeah, he's already got the big key, so there's only one more locked door in here, so yeah. The big key chest would have an item.
Ooh, Ravis brought up an excellent point. Wesker may have mismarked Turtle Rock as a crystal instead of a pendant.
Ooh.
But if that's the case...
I think you're right, because he's skipping Laser Bridge.
But again, if that's also the point, this isn't key sanity. The music is indicating it's a pendant.
Yes.
So, I'll be honest, chat, I don't understand Wesker's reasoning for this.
Bit of an explanation there. The music in normal non-key sanity seeds indicates whether the dungeon has a pendant or a crystal inside. This music playing in Turtle Rock right now is for a pendant dungeon. The key sanity, because you get the maps in random locations, the map will mark the location of dungeons on your map and tell you if they're pendants or crystals or not. And for that reason, because the maps obscure the location of the crystals, the music in dungeons is randomized, so you may get pendant music in a crystal dungeon. So he may be going off some key sanity knowledge here and misthinking this is a crystal. He's going to find out his mistake shortly, because with his gold sword, Trinex melts very, very quickly. Get some supers and a green pendant.
We know that Sahasrara cannot have the lantern. So, I am trying to think about where that lantern could have been by logic here.
It could well have been in that big key chest.
The big key chest. Yeah, it could have been in the big key chest. Maybe Spike Cave. Maybe Mimic Cave.
Indeed. Looks like he's popping over to Ice Palace now. So after spending some time in Turtle Rock, I think he's just going to knock out all his crystal dungeons now.
There's that music I was expecting. Xelnas also going for Misery Mire in the dark. Unfortunately, it's a little hard for me to tell if he has a good setup or not. Those statues do fire at regular intervals.
He's gotten pretty low on health there. He's immediately brought out his blue potion and is using it. But he makes his way through that room.
And here's Wesker going for the Ice Palace bomb jump.
One of the many reasons I absolutely despise Ice Palace. I am horrible at pulling off this bomb jump. You've got to get yourself pixel perfect with the Link sprite with the top wall, but I am a bit sloppy with my pixel perfect placement.
A good hint is basically, if you were to move one more to the left, you would fall. Basically you could either attempt a dash strat or spin attack strat to put yourself back on balance. Place the bomb, then move down a couple of pixels. Make sure to keep the sword stuck out.
He's not bothering to check anything in here. He's in go mode, why would he? And we get two simultaneous eyeball bosses. Well, actually not quite simultaneous. Xelnas pretty much knocks out Vitreous really quickly with the silver arrows. Meanwhile, Wesker gets the cold stare puffballs, well, eyeballs in their corner, and keeps them there and melts through them with his hot butter sword. And that is simultaneously the fourth crystal for both runners. Unfortunately for Xelnas, Wesker has pretty much beaten all of the Super Metroid bosses apart from Mother Brain now. So he's still pretty significantly ahead. At this point, he's just going to blitz through Link to the Past, finish Ganon, go back to Super Metroid, finish Mother Brain, and that will be it.
Well, let's not count Xelnas out yet. I understand where you're coming from, but let's at least try to do some numbers here. Skullwood's just the boss. Thieves Town, just the boss. Tower of Hera, easy. Then, okay, that's relatively simple. Xelnas, Tower of Hera, Ice Palace, also has to take out Ridley, Dragon, and Phantoon. Yeah, Wesker does have the advantage there.
He has cleared out most of Thieves Town and Skullwoods already. He only has to go in here and go kill the bosses. First time he was through here, he forgot to that he could get round to get the maiden and bring her to Blind's room and transform her into Blind. So he just has to pop into the basement again and pick her up and go take her back to the boss room.
But at least with any form of lift upgrade, it's a lot easier to do so. Now, I don't remember if the roof is automatically destroyed or not if you come back on a future visit. And I think
I
Wesker...
believe it is.
Yeah, Wesker was confused for a moment, but he's heading down.
I don't remember if he's done any save for crits. That might reset the bombable floor in the attic. Bombable walls and such like that in most areas reset when you save and crit the game, but they stay open if you haven't saved and critted at all.
What if you've swapped games?
They stay open, I believe. Because you're not actually saving and critting out of Link to the Past, it's still stored in the RAM, like I talked about earlier. Because Super Metroid and Link to the Past are stored in entirely different parts of the SNES cartridge RAM, neither affects the other, so you can keep one in stasis whilst you go do stuff in the other game. No saving necessary. And as we see, the ceiling's still gone, so we're going to get some blind.
And, some more folks wishing for Mary Poppins instead. Sorry, that blind pun was making me think of that movie. Xelnas is about to get the Titan's mitts here.
If I go over Xelnas' items, ads effectively puts him in go mode too, so he's going to start blitzing through all the bosses of Link to the Past and Super Metroid. He's going to go down to Ridley to begin with, whilst Wesker pops over to Skull Woods and has another match with a moth.
This time, better equipped.
He's got Gold Sword, he's got Blue Mail, he's got 12 hearts. I think this is in the bag.
Right now, Wesker is glad he's not playing vanilla Link to the Past, because I believe there is a bug in that game where the Gold Sword does no damage.
Indeed. I'm not sure if you can do Gold Sword stabs and still damage the Mothula in the vanilla game. Because stabs, if you just hold your sword out and poke an enemy with it, that does less damage than the regular slash. I'm not sure if that will work on damaging Mothula. But for the purposes of the randomizer, the Gold Sword is modified on Mothula and Mothula only to do the same damage as Tempered Sword, so that you're actually able to damage Mothula with it.
Xelnas struggling with the Carl Douglas space pirates. There we go. No more kung fu fighting for him.
And Mothula just melts.
So all Wesker needs is Tower of Hera, Ganon's Tower, take out Ganon, then go through the Mother Brain escape sequence.
Yep, I would say he's probably 20-25 minutes from finishing. Could spend a while in Ganon's Tower, of course, depending on where that big key is.
That is a good point. But we'll get there, once we get there.
We also haven't seen in Tower of Pear at all, so the big key could be in the basement, and Wesker could take a coffee break waiting to get through the basement room, which I'm sure he would appreciate given the length of the scene so far. Xelnas is still fighting Ridley. He's getting low on health. He better be careful. I think Ridley's pretty near death at this point. He's fairly pink, and Xelnas wisely decides to dip into his reserve tanks to top up his health.
What is the advantage of using the manual reserve tanks instead of the automatic ones?
None that I'm aware of. Maybe Ridley can do enough damage to one-shot you to the point where the reserve tanks cannot save you, but that is not something I'm very certain about at all. Perhaps chat can correct me.
No coffee break for Wesker. We're just moving on up. And remember, folks, if you ever wanted to try this randomizer at home, you can easily do so. Go to alttsm.speedga.me and feel free to give this a shot yourself. But now it is time for Moldorm, who can be a bit of a troll. How did Moldorm dodge that stab? Oh well, it doesn't matter. We don't have a lot of time for this, so let's take care of the procedures quickly. There are 22 item locations where the big key in Ganon's Tower is located. Put in an integer number between 1 and 22 inclusive, and let's see who let's just see who can get the closest.
I'm betting on... The seat's been fairly kind today, so I'm betting on a fairly nasty location like Ice Armor, so I'm going to go 19.
I am actually going to take a page out of Math Girl's book and say 22.
Get your guesses in really quickly because we have very little time before he's in the tower. We will stop the timer when he's down in the basement, just to give you a bit extra of a buffer.
Stop it now.
So, first check, just missiles.
Alright, Dark Magician Room. Check 2, small key. Check 3, blue rupee. Check 4, that's where Bombos was hidden. Check 5, compass.
And he is actually doing the Dark Magician route. Not something you see too often these days. Most runners will usually go to the right. They often find a key there, then either go through right, or if they don't find a key, go through left.
6 was power bombs, 7 was the final bottle, and it comes with a free fairy.
Skip straight through tower room as any reasonably sane man would.
Alright. Just have to get through this mini puzzle room, and then chests 8 through 11 will be available. Gibdos are not making it easy, though. Alright, 8. Energy tank. 9. Blue rupee. 10. Arrow upgrade. 11. I was wondering where that book was.
Well, we won't be needing it.
And here's a play you don't see all the time. Wesker is going to go full right side first.
Yeah, so if the big key is behind Isamos, it's going to be a lot sooner than my guess of 19. Meanwhile, Xelnas is heading towards Ice Palace. He's just going to blitz through that as quickly as he can. With gold swords, that's going to be no problem at all.
Nice use of the dash strategies. Okay, we are approaching chest number 12, assuming I've counted everything correctly.
Smoky.
Okay, yeah, I've counted right. Time for the Ice Armos.
No silvers for Wesker like Xelnas, so it takes a little bit longer for him to get through these armors. So we've got 13 to 15 here.
Missiles. Energy tank. Piece of heart. Oh boy.
It's on the left side.
Or it's on tile room.
Ooh, let's not consider that just yet.
Hey, I put 22 in there.
The Dark Magician strat's pretty much a bust today.
Alright, 16, map room. I couldn't tell, but it was not the big key, so...
It was just 3 bombs.
Thank you, I had a minor hiccup.
Struggling a bit of a crystal switch here. He's going to use a bomb, quite wisely. What else are you going to use the bombs on now?
Technically you have to use at least one bomb for the final ascent.
Very true. And also one to get into the so-called Randomizer room, which we only see in Randomizer. Which is where our big key is going to be today. Well, unless it's in this chest.
Yep, Firebar room number 17 could have it.
And I'm still forgetting about Tire Room, because really, Tire Room is never worth considering.
It may happen! But, yep, it's time for this oft-forgotten, ammunition room. Just touch the secret tile, and then here we go. 18. Power bomb. 19. There's the flute. 20.
Big key.
21. Piece of heart. We can call it.
I am not getting these chat commands right.
I got it, and I still won? I thought someone else guessed 18, but fair enough. Thank you. I win my own shout out. How does this work? Ocelot, please provide something.
Len the Cat, you say you had 18, but I don't believe you are a supporter for speed gaming. Unfortunately, for the purposes of the Big Key guessing game leaderboard, you have to be a supporter or donator to any of the speed gaming channels.
I did forget about announcing that rule, even if the bot did cover that. Also, yes, Price is Right rules do not apply here. So let's now deal with the gauntlet. Ocelot, when you go through the gauntlet, what's your preferred strategy?
Have silvers, one-shot everything with silvers. Sometimes I use King of Brown too, just because these beamers are really annoying.
Yeah, honestly, lately I've been taking the slower but more destructive Bombo strats in most of the rooms.
Explosive and flashy, I like it. How does the anti-fare in the room before landmos, which is going to change the landmos pattern slightly from what it would normally be.
Yeah, makes the one cycle a little bit more difficult if you do that.
Xelnas is making his way through here. He finds a hard container in the basement. He's going to get his big key from the back of the first floor, and then he's going to make his way up and being Ganister face shortly himself. Though those Kodongos put a lot of fire in his way, which takes out a bunch of his health.
I'm sorry, what did you call those creatures again?
Kodongos. They're not Dudongos, they're slightly different.
I thought they were called Kodongos, but I heard you say something else for some reason.
I thought I was saying Kodongos, but maybe my accent is being a bit too obtuse there.
Either that or... I am now starting to hear things. It is very late at night for me to be doing this.
Even later for me, to be fair. So, Wes goes through the coordinates. He just has to get through these last few rooms. He's going to pick up a small key from his helmet source, but he doesn't need it because he's already got one key. And yeah, he just leaves it behind. He makes a circuit around and picks it up anyway.
No, he does need... He does need 2 keys because there's another small key door, so he was right to take out the Helmasaur.
Yeah. Right, yes, of course. You need 1 key for the Ascent and 1 more key from the Helmasaur. My mistake.
It's okay. Again, it's been a long game here. Missing out on the...
Yeah, we are 3 hours in.
Missing out on the consolation chest. Will we see Moldorm's last possessions?
Red Rupee.
Wesker, you thief! That was Moldorm's hard-earned 20 rupees.
Nobody likes Moldorm. He deserves to be stolen from.
There is technically one advantage to raiding the last possessions. the kill on Moldorm is saved if for some reason anyone struggles with Aghanim 2.
So that was 1 hit, 0 in that cycle. Another single. Xelnas is going on the left side straight away, so he's going to find that big key pretty shortly. I think that was another single. 4th single.
That almost looked like a double.
That was a double. And Aga 2 goes down. So, it's early morning here. I could definitely use some breakfast bacon. How about you?
Not me, actually. Why would I want to eat, an animate pig like this? Sorry, as you can tell, my diet is kind of strange here. My stomach has issues with shrimp and bacon. Especially, singing bacon.
I'm not sure what Ganon was quoting there. Do you know?
A song, I want to say maybe, from Pink Floyd, I think? I don't remember. Anyway, Wesker is dealing with the 4 phases of Ganon, already on the 3rd phase here.
Pretty easy with the gold sword. He only needs 8 hits per phase with the gold sword. He doesn't have silvers like Xelnas does, so he is going to have to do spin strats in the last phase. But again, that should only take 8 hits. Did you find the arrows in the light world? No, you didn't, Wesker. And we know from Xelnas' side that they were on the graveyard ledge.
Oh, Wesker.
A bit early.
Yep. But he's fine.
Got to wait until just as he starts moving around, and then you can spin him and do damage.
Just like that. Gotta enjoy those triple cycles.
Meanwhile, Xelnas is making his way up the gauntlet.
Also, I think it's 12 spins.
I wasn't counting, to be fair.
Alright,
Still,
chats.
Get your single G's in.
Exactly. Wesker has finished half of the randomizer. So all we have to do now, well, all Wesker has to do is take out Mother Brain. Fortunately, if you do a hard reset, you end up back in Super Metroid, and so Wesker is able to immediately head to Torian.
And he's going to be able to get the one permitted break of the run there as he opens the statue room to Torian.
Actually, I think that break room is no longer a break room.
Oh, you are correct. The statue is already down. I forgot that little tidbit.
Joys of being on version 10.1, I believe, of the combo randomizer. Torian. Filled with the Metroids themselves.
We've got the Ice Beam and a fair few super, so this is no issue at all. Without the Ice Beam, you usually have to gather up all the Metroids on your head and then give them a couple power bombs.
Unfortunately, Wesker is doing an excellent job of this. Little lower on super missiles than I would like, but with charge beam available, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Now, will he be able to save it, not only his health, but his time, by avoiding being caught by the Super Metroid, otherwise known as the Baby?
He has got quite a lot of Super Metroid experience. I imagine he may not actually use any missiles to get past the Zeeptites in the Mother Brain Room and just use the glitch to clip past them. I'm not too familiar with the specifics of that glitch. Do you know how to perform it? Oh, he does miss the baby skip though. I don't think he picked up the Wave Beam like Xelnas did, so that's usually without the Wave Beam, getting the baby skip is lengthier than just getting letting it latch onto your head.
So, to attempt to explain the Zebetite skip, which is the next big thing that Wesker is going to attempt here. What you have to do is freeze the Rinka, aka the Cheerio-looking thing, or Spaghettio, depending on your preferred food item. Because, trust me, when it comes to Super Metroid, food is imperative. Basically, you need to freeze it in such a way so that you can, I guess, go through the Zebetite gate, and then the rest of them just don't spawn. It has to happen right around here at this bottom part, but you don't have a lot of time, and if you don't have the wave beam, that may make things difficult.
Meanwhile, on Xelnas' side, he is going to go down to collect his bacon. So we've got two simultaneous final bosses here, effectively. Unfortunately for Xelnas, he still has most of the Super Metroid bosses to still go through. Wesker is struggling with his skip.
Well, according to Sandres in chat, he may be trying a speed booster based approach. I saw the Shine Spark barely, but he got off the ground as he was turning blue. Now, I know the idea of the short charge, but I don't know how it would be applied in this case.
I've never seen anybody speed boosting past the Zeeptites, so I'm not sure. He hasn't taken the save point in the previous room, so if he decides that he does need to go farm some missiles and do this the standard way, he can reset the game and go back and farm some missiles. So he isn't soft-locked, luckily.
Yeah, no wave beam. Now, he technically does have access to the missile recharge room, but very low on supers right now. Wait, he has it?
Very nicely done. I have not
Oh!
seen that before. Very nice. Well, you see new tricks every day. He's
And,
already damaging himself with Mother Brain in preparation for the Rainbow Beam. For now, he's just going to use a lot of Charge Beam shots and get her into the Rainbow Beam phase, then probably damage himself some more. And sorry, I think I was interrupting you there.
That's fine. Everyone, welcome to McMotherbrain. We have onion rings, we have french fries, we have chicken nuggets, and eventually we will have ketchup. There's that ketchup. The tricky part right now is Wesker... Did Wesker oh, never mind, we got it. And he's damaging himself just enough.
I think that was just it, yeah. He needs to be down to 3 energy tanks. Baby's going to arrive very shortly.
Xelnas going to take on Dragon. If he went into the Power Bomb of Shame room, he would have found the grappling hook, which would have made this one easier. But now Wesker is about to witness the death of a child and the birth of one very angry bounty hunter. Enjoy the hyper beam. Take out that mechanical monstrosity, please. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that's a grilling.
There's just one problem. Considering we were talking about food and restaurants, this is the kitchen area. We have to get out before our goose is literally cooked. 3 minutes to go.
What goose? We never got the flute.
We technically did get the flute, we just never activated it. Nice shine spark for the shortcut. Go on, Ocelot.
Sorry, there's nothing.
Okay. Alright, can Wesker get the final major shine spark right here? Beautiful. Don't ask how Samus is able to clip through that platform, we don't know.
She's powered by rainbows right now. I think she can do what she likes.
Alright, now we're going to save the Never mind. Right. That is not a part of this tournament. And everyone, get your full GGs in chat for hcfwesker has finished with an official SRL time of 3 hours, 20 minutes, 31 seconds.
GG.
In the meantime, Xelnas has taken out Dragon and is now heading over to... I see. Heading to Link to the Past side, hard reset, and is going to take out Phantom most likely.
I see Wesker in the setup room. Shall we bring him in for a interview?
Go for it.
hcfwesker, GG. Congratulations on your win.
Hey, thank you so much. Man, how about that pendant turtle rock in go mode?
We were actually wondering about that. Did you mismark it as a crystal?
I just lost focus. When I got that cane, I was like, I'm doing this lampless. Went to Meyer, and I was like, oh crap, I just skipped items, and I don't know what turtle rock is, and just blanked. Just didn't even look at my tracker. Just blanked. And went up there and saw I had it. I was like, I'm going in, but I'm going to check Hookshot Cave. And yeah, well, at least I guess the one good saving grace, I did go mode it at least, but yeah.
We never did see that lamp on Xelnas' side either. This whole scene has basically been logic broken. We have not seen the lamp anywhere at all.
Oh wow, nice. He did too. Okay, nice.
At this rate, I am suspecting the lamp may have been at Spike Cave or Mimic Cave.
Yeah, I didn't check any of my fetch quest items. I'm sure chat was disappointed unless Xelnas did, but man, this thing threw me through a loop. Once I got, I knew it had to be Meridia. Once I had gravity and stuff, I knew the Dark World access had to be there. And then on my way through there, of course, I goofed up because I forgot I didn't have glove. I've never had a seed get glove this late, so I was going to places and getting blocked from the glove. Then when I finally went to Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb, I think I skipped Graveyard Ledge accidentally, and then that got on my mind later in the day and later in the run, and it just played head games with me. But I'm assuming that was the logic, was to go through Meridia to get Dark World access.
That part is correct, and also Graveyard Ledge was Silver Arrows.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, man, it would have been nice, I guess.
So the other thing that I couldn't help but notice, you were able to complete Thieves Town on your first attempt, but you kind of stopped, I noticed. Was there a reason that I had just missed?
Thieves Town, I didn't have gloves. I couldn't pick up that block unless that door opens when you kill enemies, and I didn't know that.
It does open when you kill enemies, so you just kill the enemies, you go around, and you pick up the maiden.
Yeah, I come from Super Metroid, so which I know A Link to the Past. I hope some of that showed there, but I did not know that. Nice.
Your dark ones were quite impressive, yes.
I appreciate the heads up.
Hey, the fact that you were able to pull off those dark rooms better than I could have, I mean, that's impressive here.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that's one thing. I even got a Dark Mire tutorial on YouTube, and people's asked me to make other ones. And I messed up too in Mire because I forgot I went back in, so I didn't have to hit that crystal, and that threw me off, and I had to waste my bottle. But luckily recovered and got through it.
Yeah, I still cannot do the Misery Mire Dark Rooms. Sounds like I have a tutorial series to watch.
Oh yeah, I'm not trying to self-advertise, but all you gotta do is look up Misery Mire. I think Lampless tutorial will be under. Like I said, I'm not gonna advertise my name. Just search it, And I've had a lot of people tell me it's guided them through it. And it's made for beginners too. Like I break it down. It's like 10 minutes long, but I break it down to make sure people understand. So yeah, definitely check it out.
Well, when it comes to this tournament, any advantage you can find, it's a good one, and you were able to utilize your knowledge with both Super Metroid and Link to the Past to have a 1-0 record in this tournament, assuming I've counted correctly.
Yeah, this is the first week. Yeah, I'm just still shocked because, like I said, that fluke on Turtle Rock, I just can't believe that. But somehow pulled it through. And I'm so glad, too, when I found Kane up in Norfair, I decided I'm not going to risk not finding Flute. I just went straight back to Lower Norfair to Meridia area to finish that off. I'm so glad, too, when I found Flute in Ganon's Tower. That would have been a nightmare going back, too.
Yeah, Kane of Samoa and the Titan Spits are all very close to each other in Norfair, and we had been speculating for a while that both those items were located in Norfair, because both you and Xelnas skipped Norfair for quite a long time.
Yeah, I don't like to do Bubble Mountain. That's one of my, I guess, downfalls or whatever you call it, handicaps. I hate doing Bubble Mountain, so I'll always do Croc and Lower Norfair before. But I don't know about Xelnas, but I know I did like wreck shit, went back to stupid Pink Brinstar, wasting my time there. And yeah, X-Ray, and then finally I was like, I gotta do this. And there everything was. And like I said, once I found Kane, I just said, I'm going lampless. I got to get Meyer done and went back down Lower Norfair. And then zoned out and some reason did Turtle Rock. Didn't have to do Dark Death Mountain or nothing. I ain't gonna lie though, I was kind of happy to get the bug net, but it wasn't worth the time loss from Turtle Rock.
You've mostly had the advantage over Xelnas all this race. Unfortunately, he took an early death in Green Brinstar and has mostly been on the back foot since then. He's just getting into Turian now, so
okay,
not
so
too far behind.
He's about 7-8 minutes.
He's made a very good job of it and got through the Link to the Past in excellent time.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't want to log on the channel in case somebody saw me in chat and like, oh, spoilers, he's already in here. So yeah, I've been waiting patiently. Yeah, when you mentioned Green Brinstar, I almost took a death myself, but I did save down there in the Edikun spot, and when I did with 24th health, I was like, I may have just screwed myself. So I took it super slow, just spamming missiles through there, and farmed as I went through.
One thing I must note about the early part of the race too is that Xelnas had some very, very strange graphical corruption in Crateria and Green Brinstar. I had never seen anything like it, so perhaps you could check out the FOD later and see what could have caused it, because it's very, very strange. It didn't cause him to be clipping through any walls and things, so it wasn't like a major glitch that could force him to restart, but it was still perplexing to see.
Yeah, the only one I know of is Kraid, which everyone knows that when you get the early kill, it just glitches out coming out of the room, but I'll check that on the replay, see what was going on there. I probably couldn't explain it or nothing, but it'd be cool to see.
This one I think had to do with taking a death near the Edikuns, if I heard correctly, but I had missed where the actual death had taken place.
Yeah, no, the Edikuns was dangerous going down there with 99, plus getting eaten by the frogs when you're entering. Like I said, I went down there with 24 health, and I was just like, I'm saving. There's a save room right here. I was actually, I forgot that was a save room. I was hoping it was an energy refill, but then I saved and just like, oh Lord, this is not good. Getting through here is rough.
Both of you had difficulty getting through Green Brinstar and all the other areas because of your severe lack of energy tanks.
Yeah.
And that was short for a very long time. They actually started getting most of the energy tanks around the time you checked Hype Cave, which of course 2 energy tanks was in there and not much else.
Yeah, when I got those 2 out of Hype Cave, I was like, okay, I can do stuff a little bit more comfortably now.
I was also impressed to see your short charge and Shine Spark through the Zeeptites in Mother Brain's room. I had not seen that before. We saw you trying to freeze the Rinkers, the round donut enemies, to try and clip your way through, but instead you opted to use the Speed Boost Ray, which was very impressive to see.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I just goofed. I was trying 3 different methods because when I got in there, I was like, oh, I don't have wave. I've never learned the wave list, and I know you're supposed to get under it and fire it, but everything I did just would not work. So when I failed the short charge, I was going for the down back, but then I forgot down back, you got to have wave beam. So I just had to push through that short charge, and luckily I got it. I know I got the blues one time. I was like, oh, I missed my down input. And that one's a really tough one to get. Yeah, it's a stutter 3 tap through there. Then you got like just a little bit of room for when that door opens, you're flying off that cliff, so you got to be quick with that down input.
Xelnas got the wave beam himself, and he is just approaching the baby Metroid, so we're going to see what approach he takes there very shortly.
Gotcha. Yeah, and baby skip, I'm trying to shoot all those without wave beam. It's just a nightmare.
Yeah,
and then
it's usually easy just to let the baby latch onto your head. And
I should have, yeah, and took off Very or something. Yeah, and I wasn't risking stand-up glitch without X-ray. I'm not that confident with it.
So we're going to see if Xelnas can do the baby skip, because he does have the wave beam. But he... let's see what he does. Is he going to go for it? No, he's just going to get that strong.
Yeah, I'm going to watch the replay. I'm going to mute it, though. Make sure no echo's going. Okay, yeah, he's going to do the smart thing. Take his damage, yeah.
So, do you have any other thoughts about the seed that you can give us?
Well, pretty much said what I needed to. Well, not what I need to, but my reflections on it. Let's see. Just my stupid mistakes is all I can recall, really. I know there were some dumb locations, but really the mistakes I made, I forgot my bottle when I was fighting Mafu at the start. And like y'all said, being able to complete Thieves Town my first trip, yeah, I can't believe I didn't even think of trying that at least while I was there. But no, I just gave up. Like, I got to get going. I thought that was a big mistake on my part, and now I find out it's even bigger mistake since I didn't know I could just open that door killing the enemies. But yeah, Seed, I don't want to say it was trolly, but it demanded a lot of strange situations to progress. Like I said, the dark world gravity, and plus playing this game without high jump when you got speed, it's garbage. It's brutal. You never get used to it. And the dark world trekking, still no gloves. It was making you stay in places because you're too afraid to leave them, because you're like, I got so far to go to get back here if I don't full clear everything here. So yeah, I played some mind games. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the replay, especially to see what locations I didn't check. And like I'm an adamant person about checking catfish. Just get that out of the way. But once I got my gloves, nothing ever took me to that area again, because I'd already got what I needed out of Eastern and Dark Palace, except for the bosses. And luckily stuck with Super Metroid and got that stuff in Lower Norfair. And like I said, I wasn't worrying about the lamp or the flute. Just get this stuff and go.
Catfish had nothing of importance, so...
Okay. Yeah, I've seen so many runs get trolled by that guy, so I'm like, when I get in that area, I'm always going there first. That's just one of my rules.
There's only one standout mystery of the seed, and that is the lamp.
Yeah, the lamp, that's... But like you said, y'all got y'all's theories, because I full cleared Ganon's tower except for tile room, pretty much. Oh wait, lamp can't be in there. What am I saying?
There's one other possibility for a lamp that I thought of whilst you were in Turtle Rock, and that was in the chest you skipped, the vanilla big key chest.
Oh yeah, I know I did. Oh, so Xelnas did at least dip Turtle Rock?
He hasn't been in there at all, so...
Okay, so it was me. Yeah, I did skip... Yeah, I skipped the Pokey Chest and, of course, Laser Bridge. But it wouldn't be on Laser Bridge, not on Logic, that's right. Yeah, I'm still getting used to the logic stuff, yeah, because I do so much Super Metroid logic breaking. I gotta pay attention when I do like mock balling. I just found out 3 days ago mock ball is out of logic.
Well, at least in the normal difficulty, which these Swiss stages are. I think in the hard difficulty, mock ball is potentially expected of you.
Yeah, the mock ball, green gate glitches. I think maybe ice clip. I don't know if that's in logic, but yeah, there's some more difficult tricks that come into play. It looks like Xelnas is fixing to finish. Y'all need anything? Want to ask me anything else before I take off? Let y'all interview him.
Not for me. How about you, Wolfman?
I am good. Enjoy your evening, Wesker.
Yeah, I'm starving. I gotta go eat.
And well done on your race.
Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all doing the commentary. Thanks to the restreamers and all the organizers. Really appreciate it. And yeah, this is my first event, so yeah, looking forward to the next week, who my next opponent is, and go lose. And yeah, but y'all have a good night, and I appreciate it.
Enjoy.
And thank you too. So while Xelnas finishes off Buffer Brain, may I remind you to viewers that these runners have given us an excellent race today. And that if you like what you've seen, you should go give them a follow.
Already got you covered there, Ocelot. And now Xelnas has to escape the exploding kitchen. So while this escape sequence is going on, again, please follow my commentary partner Revolving Ocelot, along with our tracker Link Hero of Time 64. Your choice on whether you follow me or not, but take care of the others first, please. Now, Xelnas is choosing to keep the screw attack while going through this escape sequence. I don't know if it really makes a difference one way or the other, but I think it certainly helps for safety purposes.
I think it may create some extra lag, but considering all the explosions that are going on, you're going to get extra lag anyway, so I don't think it makes too much difference. He doesn't go for the wall jump up the left side, which I see most runners usually do.
But he is going for the speed booster. Hopefully he remembers to shoot as he transitions, or just speed boost through in that case. That works too.
Yep, nicely done.
And then is Xelnas going to save the animals? No, we know he's not going to save the animals.
What have the animals done for us, really, to deserve saving? Wait,
Oh.
no. Whoa! Whoa!
Xelnas, you are going to have at least a week of thanks if you actually do save these animals. He has to save them at this point. Thank you! Struggling a little to get out of there. Part of the issue is you're out of bombs at this point, so... But that doesn't matter because those bricks are already destroyed. I don't know if Xelnas realizes it.
Or he could just take the right way out.
That's what I was trying to say. And... up he goes.
Speed boosting into outer space if it weren't for that invisible water.
And... Xelnas? That works. Xelnas has broken space and time, apparently, to finish in second place with an official SRL time of 3 hours, 40 minutes, 5 seconds. So get your GGs out in chat, folks.
So Xelnas is... Sorry.
Nah, you get this one.
So I see Xelnas is in Twitch chat at the moment. Is there anything you want to say to us?
Actually, he's about to say stuff to us directly. Let's bring him in. Xelnas, GG.
Sure.
Ah, come on. That was a GG.
I died in Attitunes, losing 7+ minutes of time, plus having to save and quit to remove the graphical glitches. So it's quite a lot. Wasn't very well played by me. Also wasted a lot of time in Meridia with the one health pack. Shouldn't have done that one Shine Spark in Main Street. I should have just what's the word? Should have checked it first because of my low health. Not realizing, it kind of slipped my mind that I would need to Shine Spark into to the back half. Plus 3 deaths to Botwoon. Otherwise, I think if we removed all those, I would have won.
Yeah, you weren't far behind Wesker in the end. Wesker went for the Dark Magician strategy in Ganon's Town and went full right side, so he spent a lot of time trying to get the big key chest, and whereas you just went straight left, so... And you made a lot of other time saves in Link to the Past too. For instance, Wesker actually went into Turtle Rock looking for something, and without really realizing that he didn't need to look for anything in there, and he went to Trinex, killed Trinex, and made his way out.
But looking at the tracker, he didn't do Eastern or Pod, which I did both, which probably, there was nothing in either of those. So that's way more time than a clean Turtle Rock. That's easily 15 minutes spent in those 2 dungeons versus the, I don't know, 5 to 7 minutes you spend in Turtle Rock.
He did clear most of the dungeons, he just didn't decide to go through the dark rooms to finish off the bosses like you did.
Okay, well, still, that's still some time that the Turtle Rock wouldn't have been as big of a loss as the time I spent in Pod instead of other places. One thing I did like was the powder giving me mushroom. I don't think I've actually seen that before.
It was kind of humorous to actually see a reverse fetch quest like that. Unfortunately, that one didn't pay out.
Nope. Other than that, I don't really know a better way to have done that. Red Chip obviously had nothing in it. There was never a time that really made sense for me to go to Red Chip. So I got to skip that entirely outside of going to kill the boss. Basically, it was like sort of RBO in the way that I beating the bosses, except I did still kill Kraid early. I almost skipped Kraid and went straight into Link to the Past when I was in Norfair instead of doing Kraid, just because there's only 2 items I wanted to see what was on Death Mountain. So, and if I had done that, I probably would have actually killed the bosses in reverse order this seed. So, there's that. I just don't know. If I didn't die, and I didn't waste time farming health in Meridia, I probably would have. This probably would have been within 5 minutes, one way or the other.
Do you have any other thoughts for this one, Xelnas?
No, but I'm pretty sure that pretty sure the graphical glitch just meant that I had entered a door wrong. Because that happens when you enter a door either that you're not supposed to enter. So if you enter the door where gravity is, but from the other side, the game freaks out and causes this very similar looking thing. That also happens if you X-ray climb out of bounds, which probably just means that I was somehow in a door out of bounds for a second, but I didn't stay out of bounds. Luckily, I know those rooms well enough. I don't actually need to see, so I think that would have actually caused a larger problem for somebody who wasn't as experienced.
Yeah, Wesker was avoiding those dark rooms for a while, but once he had the items and realized he was in go mode, minus the lamp, he decides to go and get them out of the way, starting with Maya.
Did he do Ridley before? Does that mean he did Ridley before? What's it called? Did he do Ridley before Meyer?
He went into Maya. He pretty much cleared it, and but ducked out without killing Vitreous when he cleared everything before going into the dark room. And I think he killed.
Okay.
I think he killed Ridley after that, and then went back to Maya and finished it.
Okay, when he had the Titan's mitts, he decided to go back. Okay, that makes sense. It was really annoying looking for those Titan's mitts and then having them be right there. I actually checked that because I was low on supers and I wanted more for Ridley, and so that's why I went and checked that first and was in go mode for that point. I don't know. C was pretty good. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, apart from the early game troubles in Super Metroid, where both of you were low on health and trying to survive as much as you possibly could, it was a fairly friendly cedar overall.
Yeah, one E-Tank Meridia with required shine sparks is like really brutal. Like I feel like Meridia should I feel like that side of Meridia should maybe have an additional E-Tank like attached to it, because there's no way to farm in once you do that shine spark to the other side of, like, once you do that shine spark that you do in, I don't know that room, but the big top room, the one that you do the Dino shine spark to skip doing grapples. Feel like to get there the logic should require an additional E-Tank. Like, or one E-Tank, because that was really brutal, and I feel like it might have actually, like, I think there was a chance that you would have only had 0 E-Tanks. So I think if you had 0 E-Tanks, that would have been brutal, like very brutal.
I think both of you were glad to get into Hype Cave and find absolutely nothing worth of progression there, but 2 energy tanks right next to each other.
Yes, yeah. The energy, like, that's the reason why I avoided Super Metroid for as long as I did, was because I could clear a lot of dungeons because of that hammer. Like, once you got that hammer, I was like, oh, I've got access to like everything now in Link to the Past. So that's why I didn't touch Super Metroid for like an hour. In fact, I didn't go back to it until I beat it, I think I stayed in Link to the Past. Oh no, I stayed in Link to the Past until the only thing I had left was Titan's Mitts, and then I went back to Super Metroid to clear bosses. That's right. So no, that was that first part of the seed, that first hour was very difficult. The required Meridia to get to Dark World, which actually, ironically, you could have backed out once you got that hammer, but that would have been really dumb. That would have wasted a lot of time. So it's very interesting way of progression. But I'm gonna quickly shout out that on Speed Gaming 3 tomorrow, I am running really long-a-thon on there. That is a marathon of really long games. Please support it. It's !RRLAT in chat. I'm running that for the next 15 days.
What kind of games are going to be in the really long marathon?
Final Fantasy 12, Shin Megami Tensei 3, Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga 2, Harry Potter, Lego Harry Potter 1 through 5, Lego Star Wars Complete Saga, Deathlock, which is like an indie game, indie RPG, Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4 PSP. There's long games and categories. And hopefully, maybe if things work out, Robopon, which is my favorite game of all time.
I'll make sure to try and catch some of it tomorrow. Sounds like a good wide selection of games. It should be very interesting.
Yes, thank you.
Any final thoughts on the seed? Any speculation where the lamp maybe? Because neither of you found that.
Must be. It's probably. I mean, did he do red ship?
He did clear out all of Red Ship. There was nothing of value there.
It's probably. I don't know. And he did the other side of GT. Did he open all the chests in the top part of GT? I'm guessing it's either in.
It couldn't have been a GT because we would have needed to.
Oh yeah, you're right. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Lamp's kind of just a luxury item. It's not really needed. So, bombs in the Dark Cross was funny. I thought maybe that was going to be some gigantic sequence break, but it wasn't. You'd had space jump before you would have had to do anything with bombs. So, I would have loved if it was.
I was betting on Lamp being in either the vanilla big key chest in Turtle Rock, which Wesker skipped, or in Mimic Cave, which he also didn't look at. I have seen Lamp in Turtle Rock very recently, so it wouldn't surprise me if it turned up in there again.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It was like I said, it's in a tournament like this, it's not needed.
If you can get through dark rooms, it's just a convenience, really.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much.
And thank you too. Thanks for providing us an excellent race today.
Alright, Ocelot, I mean, as you said, we had an excellent race. Why don't you close things out tonight?
Okay, so we have if I just have a quick look at the schedule, I believe we have more races going on right now, both in the Super Metroid and Link to the Past combo randomizer, and also in the Link to the Past randomizer full tournament. So be sure to check out the other Speed Gaming channels. We've got races happening throughout all of the weekend. I myself will be commentating another race tomorrow. And if you liked what you see, give the channels a follow, give the runners a follow. If you really liked what you see, give the channel a subscribe. And thank you for joining us tonight.